You're listening to littlepodcast.com.
Matt, let's talk about TJ.
TJ is so much of a bitch.
No Russian national anthem. TJ's visual novel about gimp girls.
That's not mine.
Oh, BuzzFeed, we got a reaction gif. Oh, it's all good. Oh, yeah.
And everyone lived happily ever after.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 298. I'm your host, John Rowe, and I'm joined by my co-hosts,
Matt Hag.
And TJ on the road, man.
It's true. He is on the road. Matt, you want to drop the splash screen up now? I think we're fully in.
All right.
I've got dual monitors now, so I can monitor the Twitch chat now.
Oh, that's nice.
I know. I bought this second monitor.
Me up and shit
for the podcast.
That's right.
It's been a week. You know, a lot's happened. I feel like in the world.
Like what?
You know,
I haven't heard anything.
Well, you know, are we? Is the government gone now?
I hope so. It was getting pretty bad there for a while.
We're close. We're like an hour away.
Over.
This is the government shutdown party.
So they still haven't solved shit?
Probably not.
Okay.
The Senate didn't pass it, so.
Well,
they couldn't solve one by one Rubik's Cube.
It's okay. The president's in Florida now, so it's all good.
Yeah. Well, the Republicans hold every branch of the government, but this is definitely the Democrats' fault. So,
let's see here. So there were some Democrats that were saying they would back that to keep the government open.
Well, there was a bipartisan bill, but they didn't bring it to a vote because it included DACA protections and shit.
Yep. Well, the Republicans are saying that they'll support DACA protections if other stuff is put in, and the Democrats are saying no, you should just support it. We don't need to add a wall to do this. It should just be something we support. It was something that we'd been doing for years and years and years up until recently. So anyway, they weren't able to work a deal out. So sounds like that's going to happen for a couple days. It's not like even the bill that was going to happen tonight was like even going to solve anything, because it was just a short-term fix, like a month or something. Well, they had more time, so
like what even
they're
happens?
just kicking they can.
Post office is closed.
Not a lot. Non-essential stuff. So like national parks will close. Like the IRS will, people will go away except for like the maintenance staff, like the emergency stuff. So. Oh yeah, here's that VR chat seizure thing that just happened, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, we talked a little bit about VR chat, but sorry, go TJ. I interrupted you.
There wouldn't be these government shutdowns if Congress was forced to pay the government salaries out of their own pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, it's stupid, basically.
Yeah, it's just become another dumb bargaining chip.
Yeah. That's kind of how it all works, though. Everything becomes dumb bargaining chips.
Let's hope people whose livelihoods are at risk.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of stupid. Kind of dumb. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of like when you say that you want to have tougher immigration so you can kick out the violent offenders, and then you go on a raid of 7-Elevens and kick out a bunch of people that are just at work. Okay, those were violent offenders. I'm sure you caught there. Come on. This is ridiculous. Anyway, let's not talk too much about politics other than, hey, if you're going to do something,
all bullshit.
Fucking do it. Yeah, it is. I mean, it is. Up and down. All the way around. If we had a different person in the White House today, it would be, everything would being blocked anyway, the other way. So, nobody wants to work together on anything, because it's just a nightmare apocalypse right now. Because everyone kept voting in awful people who are like, I want there to be no government. Vote for me for government. What?
Government doesn't work.
The thing you want me to vote you for? Anyway.
Hey, John, can you see is the stream look shitty? I keep getting drop frame notifications.
Yeah, it kind of paused there for a second, so I don't know. Maybe the internet's going down. They got us. We were talking about the government net neutrality. Yeah. Ajit Pai is on the server right now. He's getting in, getting you done. So no, let's talk about VR chat. So we talked about Knuckles swarms and other things. I saw earlier today that there was an entire room of people dressed up in cosplay or role playing as Marge Simpson, who were yelling in a Marge Simpson voice, "Homie, homie," and anyone ever would come into the room, scaring people away, which was pretty darn good. So there's some fun memes of VR chat, but I guess on Wednesday, a YouTuber, Rogue Shadow VR, released a video showing, and I guess in VR chat, they were in a room. It looks like a stand-up comedy room where people are like a stage and stuff, and a guy was, walking around, and an avatar collapsed and is convulsing, and you can hear the breathing over the chat, and everyone basically were like, kind of came together and were, basically stopped memeing in desperate, like, is this guy okay? Oh my god. Like, and it was just like, okay. Like, people are memeing around, but
like a tiny Knuckles, a Morty, an extremely tiny McCready, just like random bullshit, and then everyone's like, oh, realness.
Yeah, and everyone's just like, stop making jokes. Like, let's make sure this guy's okay. Like it's like, wow, that's awesome. Like, good. Like, that's kind of a cool thing about VR chat, is that you really have that connection. Like, you feel like you're in that room with someone you wanna help, which is good. I mean, that's great. I mean, it's a good human, real nice thing that happened in VR chat, which is like,
just wait until they have
dumpster
next gen headsets with eye tracking, because then you'll be able to make your avatar will mirror your expressions and your eye movements and shit. So
it's actually kind of
it'll be even more like I'm talking to an actual human person instead of like text on a screen.
Well, it's actually pretty cool too, because like VR chat has I guess if you build in Unity, the characters that you can create, they can do mouth tracking with the microphone, so that's kind of a cool thing.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah. So when people talk, their mouths open and shut. So it just, I don't know, it's just something about that. I know it's like kind of stupid and a meme dumpster, and it's just like a nightmare land, but also it's just got that like connection to like people, which is kind of cool, even if it's insane and memeful. Like, so, but I mean, there's a future there, I think. And I love that it's free. So it's just like, just play it, man. Like, you can just get in. And like, it's kind of broken and messed up, but it's really cool. It's kind of like Second Life in a way, because you can build your own stuff,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
All right. So. TJ was in the vehicle, so he'll be back. Matt, let's talk about TJ while he's gone.
TJ is so much of a bitch.
Oh man,
he's always saying bad things about us.
Yeah, he is. And in his streams, all I ever hear is him calling me a lib cuck, and he calls a beta. I mean, it's got to stop. I'm sorry. Let's talk about something fun, huh? Can we talk about something fun? What do I got that's fun?
Let's talk about something fun. What do you got?
You know what I can talk about that's fun? Have you watched the NBC.com/NBC15 in Madison show, The Good Place?
I haven't, but I've seen your updates on Twitter.
You gotta watch The Good Place. It's on Netflix, the first season. One of my fave shows right now. The premise is really good. It's the guy who created Parks and Rec and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Mike Schur, who also plays Mose in The Office, and was a co-writer on The Office and like a producer. So, it's really. Do you know anything about it? Like the premise or anything, Matt? What do you know?
Think it's like someone that mistakenly got into heaven or something.
Yeah, that's how the premise starts. But the show goes a lot further than that. And one thing about the show is that it's each episode's a chapter. It gets a chapter number, and it's not like an individual. Like each week, there's new stuff that happens. like, and everything goes back to normal. It is a story that's told across, episode to episode with progression and insanity, because saying it's a person who was like Kristen Bell, who plays kind of like let's just say she went to Arizona State University and is one of those people.
Yeah, those
like drinking
Arizona
margarita mix
State
out of the bottle
that everyone knows about.
You know what I'm saying? Like Arizona's kind of one of those. It's the Florida of the West.
Heat.
But yeah, so it's kind of like one of those things that is funny. I mean, it's full of like great jokes about how like everyone from Florida just automatically goes to the bad place, and there's some of the I can't say too much to give away what happens, but it goes places and really unexpected places, and is really genuinely both touching and hilarious. Like, okay, so the premise is she's in a bad person in the good place, and she gets everyone gets matched with a soulmate, and she gets matched with this guy named Chidi, who is like a super human philosophy kind of guy. Like, he's way into he's like a philosophy professor basically, and he's trying to basically teach her how to be good.
Okay.
And being in this magical place allows you to do stuff like one episode, they talk about the trolley problem, where you're on a trolley that's run away, and you can pull a lever to go left and hit one person, and if you do nothing, you'll hit 5 people. What do? Do you kill one person to save the greater good? And since they're in the good place, they can actually do the trolley problem and see it and like kind of experience it and feel it, and it adds just this zany nature to the show of the fact that they're kind of like in this like Bugs Bunny-esque playground where anything can happen, and it just goes weird places. And I don't want to spoil what happens, but it's a show full of mysteries and surprises and incredible like acting and characters that are just hilarious and memorable, like you would expect from the person who created Parks and Rec. Like, it's just they're really memorable, likable characters that are very funny, and the dialogue is great, and the premise is just weird and fresh, and it's so good, Matt. Like, there's the season 1 finale has like a crazy plot thing that happens. I don't want to spoil, and then like season 2 is kind of like results of this, and then more crazy things happen. It's just insane and awesome. Like, I can't recommend this show enough. It's like my favorite week-to-week comedy. I'm tuning into NBC at 7:30 just to watch it when it comes out. I gotta see it. So
I didn't think that was the thing that happened anymore.
Yeah, well, I have cable still for at least another few months here until we're not going to re-sign our lease here, I think, is the plan. So we're going to have a house by the end of the summer.
Can I live in your basement?
Yeah, if you want to pay rent.
Yeah. I have 3 cats and a robot. Is that okay?
That's a problem, though, because we have 2 cats. If you had 1 cat, maybe we could make it work. But, yeah. So, TJ's back. All right, yeah, so I just talked about The Good Place. TJ, have you seen that?
I have not seen The Good Place.
All right, it's real good. It's on NBC. It's really funny. Oh, another like funny quirk about it is I really love the world building in the show. So, like, they're in the good place, and everything is, super nice. You can't swear. So in the show, the character of Kristen Bell plays, when she says the F word, she says fork. You know what I mean? And then I forget what shit is. But yeah, and so it's really funny, like, mother forker. Like, it's just good because it's like kind of a funny like way for them to swear, but also it'd be kind of fun. It's just really genius, I guess. Yeah,
but it works in the world, and it also like gets you around network broadcasting rules.
Exactly, it's really funny. And let me think. I think her name is Jamila. What's her name?
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
No, what's his name? Kristen Bell's great. Ted Danson's incredible. He's the, like, not God, because it's not how The Good Place works. It's like you're in a neighborhood with a bunch of people that are like soulmates that are like built together, and like you have your houses and stuff. He's kind of like the mayor of their like town neighborhood thing. And he runs the place. Her name is Jamila Jamil. She was a British television presenter and like an MTV VJ of Britain. And she's really good. This is the first thing she said she's ever acted in. She's really funny. She's kind of like she was like a rich, like millionaire who did a lot of charity. So she's very kind of stuck up. And it's like, she's not like maybe the best person, but she like they have points. She did enough good, like all these charities to like get in. William Jackson Harper plays Chidi, who is Chidi Anagonye, and he's really funny. And I've never seen this guy in anything before, but he is like incredible. Manny Jacinto plays a Jian Yu, who is a monk who can't talk, but is still really interesting, I guess, if I can say, as a character. And Darcy Carden plays Janet in the show. And Janet is like a helper robot that is used in the Good Place. So when you want something, you ask Janet. Like, for one thing, it was just... I forget, but Kirsten Bell says something like, "Oh man, now I'm alone. I don't know what to do." And then she pops up and is like, "What kind of porn do you want?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, and she's like, "No." And she's just like this super helpful like person who shows up, and they always keep calling her a robot, and she has to remind them that she's not a robot. She's like an interdimensional being that's been created to help everyone like get everything done. It's just, he's a really incredible character because he's just basically like a data, like a robot. Like, is like I don't know how to describe it. It's just incredible. It's like so like such a unique and interesting world, and it's just hilarious because the writing team they got is amazing. I don't know. I can't express how amazing it is. Just watch it. That's all I can say. I don't want to spoil it either because things happen. It's got a plot that goes, and I can't spoil it.
And they all
so that's where I'm at.
Spawn the Antichrist too.
Yeah, I mean that's it. It turns out
children
they're all
of God.
Yeah,
the favorite children.
It's kind of cool, and like having seen the what's his name? Oh fuck! Why can't I? I've had too many beers. I can't think of this actor's
Zach Braff.
name. Albert Brooks. Movie Defending Your Life, where he dies and goes to the afterlife, and it's the whole world, and you're in purgatory, and you have to defend whether or not you're a good person in front of a judge, so you can decide
really
whether you
stressful.
move up. Yeah, oh yeah, that's the whole point, for he's really stressed out, and then he meets shit. I'm dying right now. I'm a guy who doesn't forget names, and I just the late night and the beers. What's her name? The actress who is always nominated for Best Actress.
Glenn Close. Maggie Gyllenhaal.
You bastard. Why can't I
Meryl
think of her name?
Streep.
There it is. If it ain't got Streep, it's cheap. No, but she's in it too, and they kind of have a romance, and she's like, she died like just because she fell down, but she like saved her children from a fire, and like is like the best person ever, and he's kind of like a middling, like, you didn't do the best. You got killed in a car accident because you were searching for CDs in your car. So you're kind of an idiot. So yeah, it's really good though. Like, and Rip Torn plays the lawyer, and he's really hilarious. That's a great movie too, about the afterlife and a wacky interpretation. So anyway, that's my recommends for this week. Matt, what you been up to this week, bro?
Been compiling a list of video games that I enjoyed in 2017.
Do you want to go right? Let's get into this. Video games, what I enjoyed in 2017. We'll call this section.
Let me just find the appropriate audio sting for this.
I got a list
segment
as well.
We're gonna have.
I'm gonna pull a list out of my ass today.
Oh, good.
But
I have
got
a top
good
10.
idea.
I just
probably
listed
have
a
a
bunch
top
of
10.
games, and then I was just going to improvise the rest.
All right. So I got a top 10. I'll go through my top 10, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And we'll talk about all my games in the top 10. And if it's on your list, you want to talk about it then too. And then anything I didn't talk about, you guys can get to. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? Number 10. Oh, okay. No Russian national anthem.
Why would that be?
On and on. I can't do it.
Well, we like to love Stalin.
I mean, I guess
Anyway.
I can, but
It's okay. We don't need it. All right. Number 10. Splatoon 2. You made the top 10. You got the Switch in there.
Yeah.
This is a really fun game. It was a perfect summer game. You know what I mean? Came out in, what was it, TJ? Like June? July?
I think that one was the June game. There's one big
because
Switch
they had
game every
ARMS.
month.
No, it was July 21st.
July. ARMS was June.
Perfect summer game. It was fun. It had a fun single player. Like the multiplayer was just pick up and go. Like that was the coolest part about it. Is you would just get in that world, join a lobby, play a game, and matches are like 2 minutes. You know, you just get in, get some splats. You know, it's kind of perfect if you're not great at first-person shooters as well, because the goal, really, if you're a pro, isn't to splat other people, but to cover as much of the map as you can. And kind of use the tactics to make
it's
sure
the
by the end of the map.
pray strategy that I usually employ.
Yes, exactly. But in this case, the spray and pray is good.
That's literally what you're doing.
Yeah, but there's also high level play, which is rewarded as well, like getting those 6 shots off and you know, chaining together like super attacks and stuff. It's really good. It's kind of deep. I think they really wanted to kind of esports it up a little bit, but I don't think that really took off because.
But the Horde mode.
The Horde mode is
Horde mode.
the addition. It's Salmon Run, they call it. So
Salmon Run, yep.
yeah. So okay, this game had some issues as well, which is probably why it's number 10. You have a like 3 hours a day that you can play Salmon Run because they'll like open up shops so you can play Horde mode.
Yep.
And then sometimes you'll log in and be, nope, Horde mode's not available right now. And you're like, let me play the fucking game, Nintendo. What the fuck? Because I think they wanted to try and like get everybody concentrated on it when it was available. I mean, it's a novel concept, but I just don't think it works. You know,
I played that a lot more with my streamer friends. Got a couple streamers that played it, and I would play with them. My issue with Splatoon is, actually, this was an issue with a lot of games on the Switch that weren't ports that had online mode. Is their online's not optimized at all?
No.
So when I've got really, really crappy internet, I would get kicked out of games left and right. Splatoon, ARMS, but Mario Kart ran like a dream every time. Probably because they're operating off of Wii U infrastructure. But
the sweet.
I mean, since then my internet has gotten better, but I can't run a regular 4-on-4 Splatoon game. Or at least I couldn't during the first couple months.
Yeah. And their online service is not great. I mean, there's no voice chat. There's I mean, we goofed on the dongle that they put out. We're like, okay, hook this into your phone and into your Switch, and then you can have voice chat through the app and hear the audio from this. It was a stupid thing. It was. They did not think this through. And the crazy part is that you know, people got into the code of the Switch, source code, and they're like, you can do voice chat over the Switch. Like, it's built in. They just didn't want it in their game because Nintendo's afraid of online still.
Something.
I don't know. I think that's something that'll come in firmware updates on the Switch because, again, as the game as the platform has taken off insanely. Like, what did the Switch sell? I think it's sold
at least
like
5.
It sold 10 million units in the year, which is pretty darn good. Which the Wii U sold 13.5 million units in its entire lifetime, which was like 3-4 years.
4.5.
Like 2000. Like 3 probably.
It was 4 years and 4 months when the Switch came out.
Yeah.
After the Wii U's initial launch.
Yeah. I mean, so it's pretty crazy. And one thing to think about it is the PlayStation 4 has sold 70 million consoles since 2013. So to do a seventh of that in 9 months is pretty good. It really took off. And it's because it's a great console. It's just an incredible piece of machinery. Like, it plays games, it's portable, the screen is really fun to play. I think a lot of people were worried about the battery life, and it really isn't an issue. You know what I mean? Because honestly, when you're playing on the go, you're not playing for 2 or 3 hours. You pick it up, you play it, and put it back in your backpack and charge it when you're at work, and then when you come home, you play it, or you know what I mean? Like, there's just so much you can do. And portable battery packs exist, so you can get a couple charges like saved up.
Yeah, you could just charge it with like a phone battery, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just need to hook it up. Well, like, I have a portable battery pack that holds 7 like phone charges worth of battery in it. Like, and you just hook a USB-C cord up to that and plug it in and get your charge back. I mean, like, it just really isn't a problem with it. And the fidelity is good on mobile, and the frame rate on Zelda was surprisingly not awful. Like, it's not perfect. Like, I think the game it is definitely not powerful enough, but what I think a lot of people are, what I wonder what they're going to do is possibly put out a Switch 2 that's, kind of like a 3DS, new 3DS.
Switch SP.
That's like
Switch
more
Pro.
powerful, but still backwards compatible. Exactly, like the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X. Like, you can still play your old games, and if you still have the old one, you can still play new games. Just there may be frame rate problems, or they might do what Nintendo did with the 3DS and say, well, you need to have the new one to play these. But at the very least, that didn't really hinder me, because there weren't a lot of titles that required that. Most of them were allowed to be played on the 3DS. So, yeah, I hope they do that. But anyway, back to Splatoon. It's a good game, really fun. I had never played the first one, so my experience in that world was fresh, and it was good. But I feel like the community kind of dropped off pretty quickly in that one. It just didn't stick around. There were some design decisions, I think, that were made for Splatoon 1 that didn't carry over to Splatoon 2.
Yeah,
like
I get that.
Having like 4 maps at launch and releasing a new map every 2 weeks, kind of like, okay, I kind of want to play a lot of maps, though. Like, I don't need the trickle right now. This game works is really good. Whereas
you
it
need
worked really good for
big launch catalog, and then the trickle after that.
Yeah. Whereas with Splatoon 1, that strategy worked because not a lot of people had the Wii U, and not a lot of people bought the new IP at first. But as it kept getting more and more maps, people were like, "Hey, this game is dope. You should try it out." And a lot of people kind of jumped on as the years went on. So it's great. But yeah, anyway, so Splatoon 2
I,
is my
for
return.
one, look forward to Splatoon's new Battle Royale mode.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. Like, you have to ink the world or splat the world, and
you gotta drop
man.
on
Everything.
you're dead.
That is. Can we? Okay. We're talking also. You wanted to talk about 2018. Looking forward to as well. Let's talk about 2018 prediction. Every game will have Battle Royale mode.
Yeah.
Every multiplayer game will have that.
What I'm hoping for is a third-person MOBA style game with a battle royale mode, just because I want to see what that's
cool.
like an not maybe top-down or isometric style view. Like, what would that be?
Do a Diablo style.
Yeah.
I can see that working.
Just like a giant Diablo map.
That would be that'd be stressful as fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm sick of battle royales as first-person shooters. Let's
call Blizzard.
I want to see something.
We'll play Fortnite, Matt. It's a third-person shooter.
Is that?
Anyway, you know what's interesting about Fortnite is that game probably benefited the most from PUBG, because Fortnite kind of came out and it was a bit of a thud. Like, it was interesting and unique. Like, a multiplayer zombie crafting cooperative game, which seemed kind of cool, and I watched, people play it, but I think a lot of the people were like, this game is really complicated and deep and kind of hard to get into. And then they were like, let's do a Battle Royale mode, because PUBG is doing. And I think 40 million people have played their Battle Royale mode because it's a free game. You can download it for free. It's free on PS4. It's free on PC. You can play it. So the Battle Royale mode, at least. So it's kind of like, and then people just jump to it. And, from what I've heard, people say it's actually really fun because it adds a new element of crafting and building. So like when you're imagine if you're playing PUBG, Matt, and you're like, oh crap, there's a guy going to come around this corner, and you could build a wall behind you just to make sure you're safe from behind, or it's that kind of thing which adds depth to the formula. It's not just a clone. So I think we're going to see a lot more of those. Mm-hmm. Like we're going to see a AAA game studio be like, all right, from the makers of Call of Duty, another Battle Royale game. And what I'd like to see...
Royale.
What I'd like to see, and I talked about this last year when they talked about PUBG getting zombies, was I would like to see a PUBG-style survival, 100-people survival game with zombies in it, where you have to kill all the other people, but also not get killed by the zombies or NPCs on the map. Because that is what made DayZ so awesome. Because it was like a survival game where every time you met someone, the encounter would be like, do I risk shooting this person? Are they going to kill me? And that, of course, was a long-term game. You weren't trying to, where in this you would want to kill everybody. But imagine if you got in PUBG and you're like, oh, crap, someone's coming in. And it's like, do I shoot them and alert all of the zombies around by making noise? Or do I just sit tight? Or if they engage, do I run to a car to get away and the zombies get them? I think that would add kind of a cool mix to the game. So,
and then somehow there has to be an incentive switch when you get bitten, so that you pull the bullshit movie thing where you hide the fact that you're bitten.
Yes,
somehow that has to factor in.
Oh, that would be good. And if you're bitten, you become a zombie and stay to the end of the game. God, that would be good. Oh,
let's do it.
They've got to add that, because that was so cool in DayZ. Just the fact that you're kind of trying to survive, and there's just these zombies that will just murder you if you get out of the way. So I hope that's something they can add. I don't think it's any way they could add that in PUBG without some significant development, because there's no AI in PUBG. It's all just players, and the zombies mode they added is just streamers can play zombies mode and invite people to join them.
Did that actually get implemented?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. You can run a private server with zombies mode. It's
really
incredibly fun to watch people play. And I would love to be able to play that. And I don't know how they could implement that, zombies mode for if they don't have that, but that, it's kind of one of those things that really bugs me. And it's one of the things that really bugged me about Mario Maker. It was this is kind of a cool game, but unless you have an audience, the game is different. Because if you had an audience with Mario Maker, it was different, because you would have thousands of people playing your map. You'd get that feedback. You'd have this community. Whereas if you were just someone who didn't have a pre-built audience, you could make some incredible maps and maybe build an audience, but you wouldn't have the reach. Whereas if fucking PewDiePie plays your Mario Maker map and has a great time, then all of a sudden everyone plays it. And it's just kind of one of those things that it's just sectioning off. This game's built a little bit for Twitch streamers, you know what I mean, and not for just everyone to play, which is kind of shitty when I think about it. But the nice thing about PUBG is that it is awesome to play just as a regular game. If you're not a streamer, you still get a ton of fun out of it. That's just an extra thing. So anyway, let's move on. Anyone else have anything?
I'm going to go ahead and cross PUBG off my list because I feel like that qualifies.
Okay.
We did a good... We shot some good boys and almost got the chickens.
Yep, almost. We got to the top two, I think, twice. One time, actually, was it both times I fucked up?
Yeah, we'll say that. We'll say you were the one that fucked up. You didn't
I definitely
revive me.
fucked up one of them. I definitely fucked up. That one was not. That was a judgment call, Matt. God damn it. Getting the top two is awful.
Selfish judgment call.
Well, you were the one who couldn't get out of the fucking blue, so you died.
I don't remember what happened.
Anyway, remember when you shot me, Matt, in that last game?
I was scared.
Did you?
And I think
you
a
know
little
that,
drunk.
Yes. Can we talk about... let's just finish talking about PUBG a little bit here. They added replays in with that 1.0 update. And Matt, did you know you can go into your old matches and watch a replay of the entire match?
Oh, God, I don't want to do
up
that.
Up to where you died?
Pathetic.
I know, but like it's kind of that thing that you can just be like, wow, when we were driving through that town, there was a guy right there, and we didn't see him. Or, you can see how you got killed, and I don't know. It's kind of one of those really cool things they added.
The death cams are bad enough. It's like, this is the guy that you should have known was there. Uh-huh. And you thought you had the drop on him, but he was watching you the whole time.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 9 for John.
Number 9?
Let's talk about A Night in the Woods.
How is that?
Oh, that's a good game. So A Night in the Woods is...
Is that survival, or is that a walking simulator?
No. It's a walking simulator.
Okay.
But if you want to be reductive, it's a single-player adventure game. It's on Steam. It's on PS4. I guess it's on Mac OS. And there's versions with iOS and Switch and Android coming in 2018.
I love walking simulators.
Yeah, so it's actually a really interesting game. I mean, if you look at the artwork on it, it's just this like kitty cats. You play a little kitty cat lady, and the art is just gorgeous because it's kind of like I don't even know how to describe it. The art style. It's just like I don't know, like South Park maybe, like paper cutout people and stuff. But you play a character, and it's kind of one of those games that's kind of built for a millennial generation, because you play May, who is a kitty cat who drops out of college and goes back to her hometown of Possum Springs, which is like a mining town that's like stagnating, and like her old high school friends like work at like the gas station or stuff, and like she joins the band there, and then there's like I know it's just kind of got a real like slice of life feel where you kind of go back, and it's just like the chat, like the dialogue is really good, the artwork is just really good. It's a great cast of characters, they're all well written and fun, but it's kind of interesting because basically what happens is, let's just say some like people in town disappear, and there's some weird stuff going in the background of the town, and you have to kind of figure it out, I guess. And it's just really well done. Like, you kind of like make your own like Buffy the Vampire Slayer style like mystery squad to figure out what the hell's going on. So highly recommended. I would check that one out. And I think it's $20. It was on sale for $15 during the holidays, so I would pick that one up. And it's going to be on Switch very soon, so pick it up.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's great. Recommended. Number 8. SteamWorld Dig 2 for the Switch.
I haven't played the first one yet, but I really want to play those.
Yeah, you don't need to play the first one to play this one. So
yeah, I know that, but still,
because you play a different character.
Actually, I think I have SteamWorld Dig on the Wii U because it was in a Humble Bundle or something.
Yeah, I have SteamWorld Dig on. I think I might have it on my
I don't remember.
DS. I think I have my 3DS. Yeah, I have it on my 3DS, the first one. SteamWorld Dig 2 is a follow-up. It's basically the first game better. So, like, it's kind of like a mining game where you're, like, digging down and collecting minerals and upgrading your parts, but it's also like a Metroidvania platformer where okay, now I've got the grappling hook so I can get to these areas underground, and in this one you're kind of trying to solve the mystery of the disappearance of the character from the first game.
Isn't a Metroidvania roguelike where every playthrough is different?
I don't think so. It's not a roguelike, I don't think so. But maybe it is with like the placement of the minerals and stuff underground.
Okay.
But there are definite like levels in it that are like platforming levels. So like you'll be digging, then you'll find like a mine shaft, and you'll go into this, and there'll be like a platforming room with like some upgrades at the end that you have to get through, like jumping over disappointing platforms and stuff. But like the controls are really good. Like the upgrade like RPG kind of systems feel really good. It's just gorgeous to look at because the animation's good and the art style is great. And I think they talked about how like since it I think released on Switch exclusively for like a month or something, or just it being on the Switch, like really like they talked about how the Switch sales like vastly outperformed any other platform.
Like I think even by the end of the year, it's like Switch was better than all other platforms.
Yeah, here it is.
Combined
Yeah. So yeah, they said on or at least on December 1st, the developer had said that the Switch version sold 10 times more than what it sold on Steam. And I gotta say, the Switch version is important because it is a perfect game to play handheld and portably. Because you can save at any point, like just drop in, drop out. It's like, okay, I got like 10 minutes. I'm just gonna hop in, dig down a little bit, collect some minerals, go upgrade a couple parts, like find a new thing, new checkpoint in the mine, and make your way back up. Yeah, that's awesome. It's such a good game. I was delighted because I liked the first one a lot. Oh, I got it on PS4. TJ, because it was a PS Plus game at one point. That's how I have it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's number 8. Number 7, Persona 5. TJ, you played this.
Oh yes, I still think of it. I still think of it badly.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished Persona 5. I finished it in 2 months, 136 hours. My first playthrough. I played on a medium difficulty. Okay. There's like 5 difficulty levels in the game.
Yep. I put it on the easiest difficulty level because I figured, or whatever the one, because I read, because this was a game I started up and I was like, all right,
not the bottom, but the next one up.
Does putting on easy mode ruin it? Actually, I read if you put it on the bottom one, it doesn't really affect the story or anything. It just boosts you to be like unkillable. And I was like, I'm gonna do 1 up from that. And I heard that's a real good difficulty to like, because I like the combat and strategy of the Persona games. But I was like, if I can cut the 130 hours down to 80, maybe, then maybe I'll have a chance of finishing it.
You'll get it somewhere between 60 and 90 on that.
So I have to confess, I have not finished this game. I'm about 10 hours in.
It's a world that sucks you in.
Yeah. Those first 10 hours were like in 2 sittings. So, and then of course a billion other games came out and I got pulled away. But I got to give props to the music, the world, the characters, the UI, it's just so gorgeous, that game.
Every part of the UI, everything just it's like, oozes style. Yeah,
when you level up, like your characters like run, and then it cuts to like a painting of the characters. Like it looks like, I can't describe how cool this game looks, but they just upped it from Persona 4 like 10 notches, and it seems really cool, and I like the characters. TJ, you have anything to add about the game? I want to hear your take, having gotten through a lot more of it without spoilers.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. It is not worth spoiling this game. You just need to experience it. Yeah, and that's really what it is. It's a straight up experience.
Yeah, I heard the back end drags quite a bit.
Just the tippy end of the game.
Okay.
But maybe it's because the difficulty I was on. Maybe I wasn't grinding enough throughout the game.
I have a feeling that's why I heard that people were saying if you put on the lower difficulty, you don't have that end of the game grind.
Yeah.
That kind of a lot of people hit. So I think people were like, that last dungeon, man.
It's not even the dungeon itself. It's just when I got into it, I couldn't get to the first save point. I kept dying in that dungeon.
So you just gotta really be beefed up.
You could push back, but you can't go out. Kind of like what I'm dealing with right now. Before I left for work this morning, I am currently on the final boss of Persona 3.
Oh! Did you leave your PS3 running with anything on?
Persona 3 Portable.
Oh, okay.
Which right now I have my save file on my PlayStation TV, so it's just in standby mode, and I put the controller away where my kids weren't going to touch it.
Oh my god, I remember doing that as a kid with my PS2. like getting to a boss and like an RPG and being like, fuck, I can't finish this now. I'm just gonna leave it on, put the controller up, turn the TV off, and then when I get back and then I find out the fucking power went out in my room. And it's like, no. I lost in it like 2 hours of grinding. Yeah. It's kind of a nice thing about new consoles, though. The suspend works really well.
Yeah, it really does. But yeah, Persona 5. If any of our listeners like old school JRPGs, old school Japanese RPGs,
and Japan,
and Japan,
it's a very Japan-y game,
and hate that modern versions of JRPGs are just either too grindy or too just filler story where you just hate these characters and can't learn to love them.
Yeah, this
takes away the fluff and just fills the fluff with style, and it's just it will keep you going. From
great, that's good to hear. All right, let's move to number 6 then. I think Matt's gonna have some input on this one because we've got Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah, it's on my list.
I don't think we can spoil that one.
Well, we can, we could say that it is much like the Transformers. There's more than meets the eye.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing. I think the problem with that game was like when I wanted you to play it, I was like, you got to play it, but you got to like just get to the part where you get the twist that happens.
Yeah,
because it takes a while for it to drop.
Dumb like visual novel game. I don't like anime girls. I don't do this shit.
Yeah.
I do that shit.
Yeah, TJ loves that shit.
It's pretty wacky, pretty weird, wild stuff.
I eat that stuff up. Give me the real dolls.
Yeah. Oh. Sex dolls. We talked about that.
But, sex dolls.
I don't know what we can say about this, and here's what I will say, because I don't want to spoil it. Matt, this game, there was a point that happened where like my hair stood on end, and I was like, what is going on?
Also, I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say that it's a psychological horror game masquerading as a visual novel.
Yes. Yes.
Part of that is mentioned in the disclaimer you get right before you start playing the game, so that's
right.
not that
much.
It's
a horror game, not for children. And there's just some really weird stuff the game does in terms of like gameplay that kind of upend.
Yeah, it's super meta mechanics
in a way
that I didn't even know. Like,
until I was like, "Hey, Matt, did you do this?" And you're like, "No." And I was like, "Dude, load it up, do some weird stuff," and you're like, "Oh my god,
like,
it changes
things it does outside of the game."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, fuck off!
I don't want to spoil it, so what I can say is, you have no excuse for not playing this. It is free on Steam, and it's going to run on any computer that exists, basically.
Runs on mine.
Visual novel.
And my computer's bad. Runs on mine.
Can you run 1 frame per second? You can run this.
Mm-hmm. Just make sure you do the right romancing, and you can get your girl. Make sure you play the mini game. The creating a poem mini game correctly, so you can get your lady. And anyway.
And there's a whole subreddit devoted to fan art from.
Oh my god, I'm sure.
And crossover with my visual, not my visual novel, but
TJ's visual novel about gimp girls.
That's not mine. Mine is a different one, and we really haven't done anything in 4 years.
All right. Let's talk about number 5 on my list. We're in a top 5. This is the best of the best.
Top five.
Fuck you, asshole.
All right. So, I want to guess.
Okay.
All right, we're at.
We got 5 games left in the year.
5 games left in the year, and there's a lot of good games this year.
There's a lot of good games not on this list.
Yeah, I know.
That's how
there's a lot of good
games
not on this list. Something tells me, because I think you played it and I didn't get around to it.
Okay.
I have a feeling your number 5 and we don't have a list. You don't have a list here, public, for me to see.
That's right. It's a secret list.
Number 5 for you, is it Horizon Zero Dawn?
No. Horizon Zero Dawn is not going to be on this list.
Because you didn't get around to playing it.
I played about 2 hours of it. And it's good. But I got too much else. Do you want to? Yeah. I'll give you a second guess.
There were so many games that I was like, I want to play that, but it's a PlayStation exclusive.
And I loved what I played.
Like super high on
that, but I just didn't play enough of it to put it on this list.
Yeah.
This is a game I beat.
It's a game you beat?
Yeah. So it's a game you can beat. That's a little hint.
Okay.
I didn't beat PUBG because we never won.
I don't think you played Neo.
Okay.
Is it Super Mario Odyssey at number 5 for you?
No, it is not. I will tell you what it is. It's Wolfenstein 2.
Oh,
Wolfenstein. Yeah.
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
So you got around to finishing the first one then, and then
finished
get to
both.
this. Mm-hmm. Nice.
I had to because I wanted to talk about and listen to what people had to say about Wolfenstein 2 and how it went. This game has a lot of flaws, so maybe it shouldn't be number 5, but it's where I put it.
But having flaws does not make it not fun.
That's true. And the parts that were great were great. The story is incredible. The characters they create for this are refreshing. The dialogue is interesting. It's an action game where just the zaniest shit happens. I mean, we're talking about, oh, let's just put an axe through Nazi's face and fucking, here's my pregnant wife with fucking 2 machine guns gunning down, like, groups of Nazis, and this, lady with an afro is, like, running the whole fucking submarine that we recaptured from the Nazis and are going around the U.S., like, liberating towns and stuff from, like, the Nazis. And there's a particular mission called where you go to Roswell, New Mexico, and there's a parade about a thing they call Conversion Day, when everyone's switching over to German and switching over to, and basically you're going through this like 60s ass looking town, and everyone is just kind of like, it's business as usual, it's a regular old American day, except for that, you go in the stores and then there's bratwurst and sauerkraut on the menu, and there's German soldiers going around walking hand in hand with Klansmen, like, who are like trying to practice their German, and it's just like kind of a little bit too real feeling, and it really goes places.
About that doesn't sound like anything that could be remotely possible in this world.
Well, there were lots of fine people in that town, so. But anyway, I mean, we're talking like, do you guys mind if I spoil something for you?
Oh, it's fine.
I will definitely.
A moment that happens at the end of the game, or near the end of the game. So you go to Venus, right? Because one of the plot points is you're Terror Billy, who is like the master Nazi murderer, and you need to get the nuclear launch codes from the Nazis so you can have like nukes to launch and destroy their like floating sky Nazi base. And so you're like, all right, they're casting a movie where they like capture and kill Terror Billy, and you pose as an actor and you go to Venus where they're filming this movie. And you go to like this Nazi Venus base dressed up as this guy, and you are doing auditions for this movie, and you're like, all right, this, and you hear this like coughing and hacking, and in comes an ancient Hitler who is spouting out German and slurs and like vomiting on himself because he's just basically decrepit old man, waving around a pistol and arguing with you and like just being horrible. And it's very clear that they're like all just putting up with this guy, because like, well, he's fucking Hitler, he's our Führer, so he's got this idea for this movie. And you go through this audition, and the people that are with you, and this is the fucking most genius shit in this, it's not pointed out, but there's all these actors with you and stuff, and one of them has a kind of familiar voice, and his name shows up as Ronnie, and it's Ronald Reagan. who was an actor in the 60s, who's trying out, and he's got this voice, and he's, kind of kissing up to the Fuhrer, and what happens is he does an audition, he flubs a line, and Hitler shoots him in the face. So, and oh god, that fucking moment is like one of the coolest fucking things in the game. And so you have to remember lines from a script you're handed, and if you fuck them up, you get killed, and you have to reload. And it's awesome. And there's actually a point where I forget what happens. Just like there's like not an explosion, but like the base kind of shifts, and Hitler kind of falls on the floor and drops his gun, and like you can literally walk over and kill him, but you get shot by everyone and everything. And it was really cool because you get an achievement for doing that. And I was like, man, like, because my first instinct was like, I got to kill Hitler. Like, I got the opportunity. Like, I may die, but it's worth it. Like, and you have to reload it and go through the save. But God, that moment is just so good. And it brings up like, you don't kill Hitler, of course, in this game. And it's like Wolfenstein 3, Mecha Hitler. It's got to be coming. So
yeah,
the game it does the most insane fucking shit. I mean, beloved characters horribly murdered. Like it gets fucking
BJ
real.
Blazkowicz.
Yeah, it's just good. I can't really get into too many plot details. I just wanted to give that one. But so much other crazy shit happens, and I love that. And it also has the worst credits music of all time. I gotta say that. Worst song. It is a I think Swedish band or a Norwegian metal band doing a cover of "We're Not Gonna Take It Anymore," but like a metal version. And it's awful. You should look it up. Wolfenstein 2 credits song, because it is heinously bad. But anyway. So yeah, incredible game. I gotta play it. I haven't spoiled everything, but that moment I had to talk about because it's just like pinnacle of insanity in that game is the audition to play yourself as yourself in front of Hitler, who will murder you if you don't get your lines right. Like, oh god, what a moment. Anyway, does anyone else have any? Let's break up the list here. What else are we looking forward to in 2018?
What are we looking forward to?
Oh,
well,
yeah. Let's take a break from my list and look forward.
If the rumors are true, and it's coming to PC, I'm looking forward to Red Dead Redemption 2.
I really hope it's coming to PC. I can't believe.
I hope so too.
They did not put it out on PC yet. The Red Dead
first one, yeah.
I can't believe that's not available. I mean, GTA 5. It's got to come out. But let me look. I'm kind of looking through a list of games. I feel like this is a weaker year than 2017.
I think we don't have even half of the big titles announced yet.
So I want to talk about sister podcasts to our show. Famicom Dojo had their had an episode out. They're looking forward to 2018, and they were bullish on the Switch, putting out lots of games. I'm like, man, they pooped out their two biggest franchises in 1 year, so I don't know how you follow that up. I
mean, we could have Kirby game,
Yoshi.
Yeah, but they're just not as big as Mario and Zelda. That's the number 1 and 2.
No, hang on. Number 3, Cardboard.
Yes. Let's talk about the Labo.
New Donk City.
We're here. We got Cardboard. Get used to it.
Yep.
Can you explain what Nintendo Labo is, TJ?
Nintendo Labo is basically a build your own accessories for the Switch that are interactive with a Switch game you put in there. That could include things like a playable cardboard piano, a wearable robot backpack and arms and legs, fishing poles, a house you're able to manipulate. So much stuff, and most of the fun, it seems like it's not going to be just from the building, from the game. It's from the building. Of this stuff.
That's cool.
It seems to be basically video games, and I don't want to say Lego, but Lego. The imagination of building combined.
So the government shut down. Just breaking. I got an email text, a breaking update. The past the deadline.
That's fine. It was
18 minutes ago.
Really,
they weren't doing much anyway. To be fair,
we're talking about cardboard. God damn it!
Sorry, I just wanted an update for the time capsule of this podcast. People will be anyway.
So,
yes.
I mean,
you're listening to what it was like in the last day of the United States government.
Yeah, it's just not coming back.
It was, at the time we didn't think it was going to last forever, but apparently it did. Yeah. And wow, color us surprised.
He's our last president.
Cardboard is coming out on the same day that there will be a national rolling papers shortage.
What? So Nintendo was like, okay, here's our crazy cardboard building, like hook your Joy-Cons up to little cardboard things to make them like move around on the floor. It's coming out on 420.
Hey,
I'm gonna get blazed and play piano on my Switch. Like, it's literally what's going on.
Man, I can't get this cardboard to go together.
Yeah. So looking ahead, I think for me, game I'm most looking forward to, like Matt, Red Dead Redemption 2. Like,
I just want to be a goddamn cowboy.
It's the first game is probably the best game that came out on the PS3, Xbox 360 like generation. Like it's just such a good game. Like such a good world. It's like one of the best open worlds. It's so good. And
that
man, looking at
DLC.
this list of what's coming out next year,
yeah,
I don't have a lot of like Spider-Man. Oh, the fucking PS4 Final Fantasy VII remake is supposed to come out this year. TBD.
So, now, me being the weeb I am, the stuff coming out in 2018, my interests are split all over the frickin' place.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the untitled Fire Emblem game that's coming out to Switch this year, an actual Fire Emblem game.
Yep.
Which I'm going to play the crap out of that. I hope so.
Yep.
Because I didn't play much of the last one. Toe Jam and Earl's coming back out this year. I hope that gets a frickin' date soon. I don't know what I'm going to play that on. The World Ends With You is getting a port on Switch. That was the 3DS game from 10 years ago. We've got Soul Calibur 6, because that's my level of fighting game.
Yeah, I saw that on this list here.
But I'd almost rather just play Soul Calibur 2 again.
Yeah.
So, whatever on that.
Kingdom Hearts 3, baby.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't trust it.
We'll see.
Give me a month and I'll believe it. Kingdom Hearts 3. I want to play the new God of War.
Yeah. God of War. Okay. I've never finished a God of War game.
Neither have I.
Played like most of God of War and then like a bit of God of War 2, but I didn't get into that series. Mm-hmm. Not that I don't think it's good. I just never. It didn't hit for me right away, so I just didn't really play it.
And this new one is less hacky slashy and more like God of War meets Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, you're God of War : Angry Dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
with your son of War.
So if anyone wants to buy me a PlayStation, I will also get that game. Because I'm really interested in the story, and I wish that it wasn't exclusive.
All right, going back to my weeb and booby games, they are re-releasing and reporting and remastering Catherine. That's coming out this year.
Yeah, I heard about Catherine remaster. Like
Catherine full body.
Yeah.
And then besides that, there's...
What was Catherine anyway? Isn't it like a weird like dating game that also
visual novel? Puzzle game
where it's
platformer.
Like you gotta do like it was like your dreams, right? You have to like do box stacking dreams.
Yes. And you were a sheep in your dream.
Sounds exactly.
I will say the
like
Yoshi Switch game does look pretty cool though. And it's 2018. It's like the Woolly World, and now it's Yoshi's Cardboard World. # Labo collabo. Like I bet there's got to be some. But there's got to be some like Nintendo Labo support on this thing if it's got like cardboard everything.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play the new Kirby
piece
game
of
too.
Cardboard in the head, and it'll stick its tongue out.
The new Kirby game looks awesome. Like, and as a person who has a fiance who she likes games and likes gaming, but isn't like a hardcore gamer. Like, she's not into first person shooters, so we can't really co-op FPSs and stuff. Although we play a lot of Diablo 3 on the console. It's a great co-op game.
The fuck?
It's just good.
They're remastering Assassin's Creed Rogue for the newer systems.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. Detective Pikachu's coming out in a couple months.
But there's a lot of. I don't think it's the heavy hitters, but they got a good steady stream for the year 2. So. And
I don't want to play Ni no Kuni 2 until they make a remastered of Ni no Kuni 1, so I can actually. Play
I need to finish that game. Like, I played a bunch of it. Like a good 15 to 20 hours of it, but I don't have the time for these 90-hour JRPGs. I wish I did. I've got to go play Vanilla WoW, I got.
When's it out? Do we have a date on that yet?
Oh, it's out. Hey, TJ, you want to play it? I can give you, some files and a website.
Yeah, you got to know.
Okay.
I'm not saying that I do that or should do that.
Nobody should do that, really. But it's a thing that's possible.
Or shouldn't do.
It's breaking the terms of service. Okay.
I was actually talking about WoW Classic, but we got it.
Yeah, I want to talk about Star Wars Galaxies, Matt. Remember we talked about this a little bit, like maybe a month ago?
Yeah. What's up?
I tried playing that. I popped that in.
Oh, I forgot there were vanilla servers of that up.
There are, and it's easy to play. You don't need your own copy, because if you just go to the Reddit, they have just an ISO image of the installer, and you can just put it on your computer. And there are people who are like, that's stealing. That's breaking the terms of service.
You're stealing from a company that doesn't goddamn exist anymore.
Literally, the argument was like, okay, sure. It could be breaking the terms of service, but also the company, Sony Online Interactive Entertainment, doesn't exist anymore. So this is breaking the copyright of a game that is from a company that doesn't exist, and the rights of which I don't think are owned by anyone. Like, it just is dead. Like, they're not going to ever remake it or remaster it. It's not going to happen. So I think it's pretty much free game for people to be able to download.
Yeah,
and play
it's abandonware at this point.
The Vanilla WoW one makes sense.
What's the at what point is this recreation of? Like, is it the super early stuff? Because I know they did a massive redesign after I left, because they were like, Matt's not here, we have to try and get him back, and they changed a ton of shit.
No, this is the original game as it launched.
Okay.
I think with the agreed upon pre-conversion best version of the original game. So it has the jump to light speed expansions and all those things. But it is before they did.
My favorite meta game for that when it came out was trying to find the latest bugs that haven't been patched.
Those probably exist.
The shit out of them. So.
I made a smuggler guy on Tatooine, and the UI is. I just want to mention Jackie in the chat. Shout out! It said they played the game Crazy back in the day. Yeah. This is a game that I was too young to be able to play because we didn't have, this is how old this game is. We didn't have high-speed internet, so I would have had to play over dial-up, and my parents weren't going to shell out for a credit card fee, for me, so it was kind of like, and game cards I don't think were a ubiquitous thing that I could have bought back then.
Yet.
So
this is the first game I followed its development before it was released.
Yeah, me too. I was in the forums.
It was the game that got me into message boards.
Yeah. We talked about that in a previous episode, but it exists. The UI in that game is just hella bad. Going back to that, the fact that WASD doesn't move your character, it's only click to move, and you can switch it to.
Really?
Shooter mode that allows you to move with WASD, so you can configure the controls to work. But
I remember lots of radio menus that pop up over your character for stuff.
Yeah, Yeah. It isn't great, but having played it, I was like, I can understand this system because the depth of like leveling all of your like parts. Like Jackie says in the chat here, Star Wars Galaxy, they basically like, oh, we got to make it like WoW, so we're gonna just fix everything, and it's like kind of cool because a lot of people like the changes because like it became more accessible and like that and easier to play and like just more quality of life, but it really just got rid of all the depth and the player economy and the like player governments that you could set up. Like there was just like crazy like stuff you could do in that game. Yeah. And they just got rid of all of it. So, you know, because people want to go hang out with Han Solo. So we gotta make it so you can go hang out with Han Solo. But do you remember in like Star Wars Galaxy, didn't they have like GMs that would go around as characters from the original trilogy and like acting character? Wasn't that like Darth Vader would walk around being like controlled by a game master? Because I remember a story I heard, like there was a stormtrooper group that would like do like formations and like marching and stuff, and I guess a GM showed up as Darth Vader and was like, excellent work, keep it up, and like went away. And it's like, that is so cool. Like,
I really liked their original Jedi system where it was just kind of like nobody knows how you become a Jedi.
Yes,
it's just like a fucking mystery.
Yeah, so that new one is the I forget what the name is. It's like swgemu.com or .org. So they had like a post like saying so and so is the first character to discover force sensitivity, and it's like, so it's kind of like a thing that like I guess if you do a quest line and like just randomly do a bunch of stuff and like you just can all of a sudden become force sensitive, and then it opens up the Jedi class, which is such a cool thing. Like you could just be a regular ass working Joe.
In terms of like marketing a game, but if you're like role playing in that world, it's amazing. Like you just randomly you could be Rey from nowhere and you become the most powerful Jedi. Like
that's such like a cool thing.
Random shit, like it makes sense like, within the universe.
I like that. Yeah, and that reminds me of what I loved so much about. And this, classic WoW, vanilla WoW is like just how hard it is to get anything. And so like when you accomplish something and you go through like this is fucking busted ass like regular dungeon with this like crew that you had to go through whisper chat to get everyone like got together, and like you have a fucking guy who's like a hunter that like fucks everything up and you have to kick him out and wait for someone else, and then you finally get through and a boss drops like a green piece of gear that's like perfect for you and you win the role, and like all of a sudden, whereas like a new WoW it's just like I got like 70 pieces of gear from this run, like, and some of it's upgrades, some of it's not, and there's still like that treadmill in new WoW, but it's just like so different. Like it's so much easier to get stuff. Animal trainer he was. Interesting. You were
that was
animal
me.
Trainer.
I was the
Bothan with the shortest tight. I made myself a smuggler that looks like Han Solo, but I also made myself the heaviest I could be. So I'm a very paunchy Han Solo, which is what I made my guy as a smuggler. So I'll have to. I don't think I'm going to be able to go back to that one because it's too much to try and go back to. I think. I'm sure if you played it back in the day, though, you'd probably, like, riding a bike, be able to hop in. I mean, that reminds me when I subscribed to EverQuest, like 6 years ago, because they had, like, the EverQuest Classic or whatever they brought back. And I think on Steam it was, like, $10 for your first month and all of the expansions. I was like, you know what? Adam and I were both like, let's just try this out. And then I was playing it, and I was like, oh, you have to type /attack to attack something. I was like,
oh no, really?
Ooh, the camera is like is like on your mouse, but inverted and like horizontal inverted as well. I was like, this is a mess. Like this is gonna take some time to get used to because that game is.
I'm trying to remember because I was playing Dark Age at Camelot while EverQuest was out.
Okay.
I
wanted to play that too.
I think you had to. You either hit one of your attack shortcuts, like your special move things, or you had a generic shortcut that you could hit to attack. But you definitely didn't have to type /attack for it. But also, I think that would have worked.
EverQuest is free to play right now on Steam. So you can totally play it right now. It's free to play on Steam. Hop in.
No, I'd miss the cloaks.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so...
So anyways,
cool.
games from 2017?
2018. Looking forward to, we said it. Let's talk about games of the year 2017. Let's move on.
Go back to number 4. We got to do number 4 next.
Number 4 of my list. Because I'm
your list, yeah.
And we'll talk about everybody else's when I get done with my list. And we can touch upon.
So see you in 7 hours.
Yeah. No, number 4, Super Mario Odyssey. Number 4. It was number, I think, 2 at one point, then number 3, and then number 4.
So
I think in another year, this is game of the year. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like there's just 3 game of the year games that came out ahead of it, and it's a game of the year caliber game. TJ, did you play all the way through Odyssey?
I've got 880 moons.
Okay, so you got it.
Yeah, I've not done the thing where I'm missing one outfit, so I got to grind for that. Coins,
yeah.
Then grind the coins for the 999.
Yeah,
because you do get something for that.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like doing it. It's 880. I did it.
Yep, you got to the second ending or whatever. Isn't that like 800 or 500 or something? Is the real ending?
Oh, 500 is when you get the what I would call it is the challenge mode level.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool though. Yeah, and that's the thing I saw people complaining about, how like the game is just like easy and it gives you moons everywhere, and I was like, yeah, but if you dig, there are some real hardcore platforming challenges, a la some Super Mario Sunshine, like platforming levels. Like there gets to be some real good platforming, and I love how the game doesn't punish you with lives. You know, you just quick replay, you know, if like you're stuck on anything, you just keep going back and eventually get it. Like, God, it's a great game. It's gorgeous. Music is great. Like the worlds are all unique and different. It's just a new mechanic for Mario. It's like, it's on the top tier of Mario games, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like this is on the level of like 64. This is the level of Galaxy, of Super Mario Brothers 3, you know, Super Mario World. It's top tier Mario. Like we're talking about, they put out a classic here. But unfortunately, there were 3 other games I liked more, which is insane. I don't know how much else we can talk about Mario.
And this is funny because I know one of the games you probably have above, I would put underneath.
Okay. Because
maybe I'm just not as big as in the exploring. Maybe because I'm kind of a completionist at heart.
Oh, fair enough.
And it's probably your number 2.
Yeah.
Did
you have anything else you wanted to say about Mario Odyssey?
Don't complete it. Just beat the game and enjoy the fact that you beat it.
That's my advice too.
Completionist.
If you haven't played it, is get to the end. Get to the first ending. You know, get to the wedding
and decide what you want to do,
and then go back and so get the minimum moons you need to get forward, because you basically the game does a thing that rewards you for going back to all the old worlds and finding new things. So just get to the end, see everything awesome, and then have the joy of going back fresh to all the old stuff that you already haven't kind of seen everything of, and discovering new parts to it, because it's just it's such a good game. God, I wish it could be like number 2 or number 1, but it just there's so many other games out for this.
Yep.
So let's talk about a game number 3 that I was wondering if we would need to decide on whether or not we could say early access games
Switch
can go on this list. But it came out in 2017 after all, in the last couple weeks. So, of course, this is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds number 3.
PlayerUnknown's. I've heard of this.
I am not... Okay, when I saw this game being played, I was kind of like, man, like I played DayZ and that was really good. I don't know about this, and H1Z1 kind of looked like to me, and this is kind of a clone of that because this Player Unknown was like, I think, one of the co-creators of H1Z1 or the mod, or no, he was a co-creator of the Battle Royale mod for DayZ. And so it was kind of like, you know. And then I watched people play it, and I was like, this looks interesting. And then I was like, all right, Matt, we got to play this together. Because playing with someone else makes it a different experience. Because when you play alone, it's like a horror game. Because every time you see someone, it's you die or they die. You know what I mean? But when you're rolling around with a crew, you kind of just have that safety net that you feel like, okay, they got my back, even though Matt will shoot you when you run through a door.
Hashtag squad goals.
It's just incredible. It's like a new genre of game, and you can see how much has changed the entire landscape of video games in 2017. Like, it is just a whole new, like, thing,
world,
and it's just
a new
it's a game type. You know what I mean?
Whole new world.
But like when you think about it, it's like a MOBA is like a whole new type of like strategy
and like
game.
The MOBA genre came out of a Blizzard mod. So it's like
these
things come out of like these indie mods, and then they just get absorbed into the system,
and it deserves it because the gameplay is tight, the shooting is good. Like we say when we play it, Matt, when we stream it and we die, it's like you don't feel bad that you died because you're like, you know what, I fucked that up. Like I should have looked in the windows before I walked in that room. Like it was my
there's
fault.
A lot of if
you know?
I only did this, then I would have won the whole game.
And the best part about it is because it's so popular. Like we've said, you die, okay, let's queue up, and you play in another game within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, another shot at the chicken dinner. Like, let's do this. I love that. I think it started off with, like, the community kind of seemed real toxic. Like, you would have voice chat, and you could hear all the people, like, screaming, like, horrible, like, just racist shit, you know? And, but you don't listen, like, the game isn't talking to other people, you know what I mean? It isn't like Rust. It isn't like Ark Survival. It's not a game where you're could be
talking
killed by other
actually
players.
A detriment. I mean, you want to talk to your squad, but you don't want to be picked up on the proximate.
I kind of want to like have voice chat on, so because you can hear other people sometimes that are using that. And it can lead to hilarious moments where you can like throw a grenade in a room and just hear someone scream. And like it's kind of really cool. And I think that like in a perfect world, the game would require voice chat to be over the game. You know what I mean? Like if I was creating a game, I'd be like, okay, you can use voice chat in your squad, but it's the way it is in Arma, where you have to be in proximity and everyone else can hear you talking. So it really gets down to like a realism kind of thing where, you know, you have, but then that would just lead to players using a chat system outside the game. You know what I mean? People are like, we're just going to Skype and play then and not use that. But I would love a game where it's like when you chat, when you play, you have to have a microphone set up or something. You know what I mean? Like, cause that would be such a, like a VR version of this would be that way. Could you imagine that, Matt? God. VR.
There is a VR battle royale game, and I just can't bring myself to try it.
I'm sure it's broken as fuck, but also, even as broken as it is, I know I'm already like 150 beats per minute when I'm like in the top 10. I couldn't imagine being in the top 10 and in VR. I would probably have a heart attack and die. So anyway. Incredible game, so much fun to play. Kind of reignited my playing games online with friends kind of stuff. So, huge fan. Matt, you have anything to add? I'm sure it's on your list.
I like to shoot the people and usually I just get shot by the people.
Yeah, but it's fun when you're playing with a friend because you're in it together. Because you don't feel like it's one versus
I had a game
the world.
A few days ago where I had a long range weapon and like a 4x scope, and I knew where a person was, but I just couldn't get them because they had too much cover. And then in trying to shoot them, I exposed myself and died immediately.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Just the amount of fuckedness that I am in that game is quite fun.
Yeah. It's such a good game. Like, that's top tier. Game of the year capable game. Like, all right.
Totally extra.
TJ, we got 2 games left. I think you can guess what my number 2 is.
It's The Breathing of the Wild.
Incorrect.
Really?
Nier Automata is number 2.
So you got blindfolded butt android.
Yep. Yep. You can see my butt when I do some attack moves. No.
But it's a lot deeper than that.
Play Nier.
And I'm not talking about the butt.
That's all I gotta say. And I think it was really interesting. Someone said, like, okay, so Nier is like, okay, you're robots, but also you like question about like what it is to be a robot and what humanity is. It's just that kind of story. To which I say, yes, but I've never seen it told in such an effective way as it is in Nier Automata. Like, it is just deep. Okay, best soundtrack of the year, Nier Automata. Like, the music is incredible, and it matches the tone of every segment you're in. The gameplay is a mix of like shoot 'em up, like side scroller and top down shoot 'em up, and a Platinum Games like Bayonetta style action game. It is in depth to the point where when you slot in abilities on your character, you can remove like UI elements to gain more slots to put power ups in. Like if you hit the self-destruct on your thing, it will destroy yourself and you'll have to go back in and reinitiate your systems in the menu. Like, it is deep. It is, the storyline is the story is you are a Yorha unit and you are designed by the humans who are on the moon because Earth was invaded by aliens, and they created all of these robots that like to murder all of the humans, basically. And so you're a bunch of robots. So it's basically like these aliens created robots to exterminate all the humans, and the humans fled, and you are the androids, who are also robots, that the humans created to kill all of the robots so that humans can come back to Earth. And it's kind of the idea of you're a faction of robots created to save humanity, and you're fighting a bunch of robots who are there to kill humanity, but also that was like thousands of years ago. And so nobody really knows what's going on anymore. Like, the aliens, you don't see them. You see the robots they created, who have, over the millennia, created their own robot societies. And let's say Pascal, who's a robot who's a pacifist, has created a village where other pacifist robots are. And if you play the game, you could run in there and kill all of them if you wanted to. But why would you? They're pacifists. You're supposed to kill all the robots because they want to kill humankind, but these robots don't want to kill humankind. And all I can say is it's a game that you have to beat 4 times to get the full story. Or you have to beat it 3 times, and the third time you can make different choices to see the other ending. And it has probably, and this is a Yoko Taro game, the creator of Nier, Drakengard. It's a downer. It's a real downer. And I think the best way to sum up the plot is these robots left behind by these aliens are trying to become human. And more human, gain emotion, gain like sentience. They want to be like humans. And that's probably not a good thing, is what the game is trying to say. Yeah. Is that maybe we don't want to be like humans, because humans are bad. Humanity was not good. And all of the horrible things. So you'll have like robot cults where they sacrifice these pacifist robots because they are the one true way, and if they kill enough and if they murder themselves enough, the god will come down and make them as gods. And it's like just so deep with lore and so good. And one of the problems I think a lot of people have with the game is that the overworld and the game look old. Like, it looks kind of like a PS3 game, and you it's not a huge world map, and you backtrack to a lot of areas. But I will say that even though if you play the game through like 3 times, it doesn't feel old, because the soundtrack is so good and so atmospheric, and the upgrade system, like, you know, as you level up to like level 60, 70 in your like 3rd playthrough, because you know your gear and stuff is carried over, it just doesn't feel like it's stagnating, like as you're playing it through a 3rd time, because the second play you play the original story as, so there's characters 9S and you're 2B, and the second playthrough you play as 9S, and you get the story from a different perspective, with a different point of view, because 9S has different feelings about robots than 2B, and it's an opus. It's an incredible game. It's a love letter to action RPGs, I think, and story. Like, I can't recommend that one enough. Like, if you can play an action RPG a la Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, you'll love this game. And it does have easy mode, like Bayonetta did. You want to just get through it. But you can play it on normal. It's not that hard.
I want to play it.
I can't recommend it enough. Like, I think TJ, you dig this game. Like,
yeah, all of my other online buddies do too, and I'm like, I just play it.
Not to spoil too much, because I don't want to spoil some of the story beats that happen, because the impact of some of the things you see happening are so like gut-wrenching that I don't want to remove that first experience for someone who's listening to this. But I will say early on, like, for instance, early on you're tracking robots, and you kind of stumble upon like a robot orgy, could I say, at one point, and they're like trying to make a human, because that's like their like perfect being or whatever. And it's insanity. The game is insanity, and so deep, and the lore is incredible. That TJ, you want to get all the trophies? You can buy them in game. There's a vendor in the game that sells every trophy, including the platinum ones.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just such a like crazy game. Like,
it's even more meta than I expected.
It's incredible, because like the point comes to where you're like, all right, I got to get through this factory, kill all these robots, get to the end like that, and then you get out in the world and you're like, these robots aren't attacking me. Some of them do, but some of them don't. And you're like, should I kill them? Like, because I don't need to, because like your piddly robots running around the overworld don't really give you a lot of experience, but so you're like, I could kill them, but I don't have to. And then it's kind of got you questioning, it's like, should I? Because there's robots that are good that I've met, like, and so yeah, it's fucked up. It's so good. God damn, it's good. I haven't even finished it. I've got through 2 endings. I need to play the 3rd time through, but I've read what happens, because I don't have another 10 hours to put in this game. Like, I would say it's like a 40-hour time investment, 30 to 40, to play through all of it and all the side quests.
It's probably going to be closer to 50 or 60 for me, because I know I'm going to grind out every lettered ending.
I will say be careful with the endings. Ending L, be careful. This isn't going to be much of a spoiler, but the game is meta, and there is a point at which the game will say, if you choose this ending, it will delete your save, and it will delete your save entirely. So be careful. Do that ending at the very end when you know you don't want to play anymore. Or if you don't care if you have to restart from scratch. And that's how meta it gets. And I don't want to spoil why you have to make that choice, but it's actually really deeply touching and profound. So it's just insane. Like, it fucks with you. Oh, God, it's such a good game. But it's not number one.
Number one is...
Da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da. Let me tell you about the time I got high on my leaf, floating around the world of The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. I know TJ didn't put this in his top 5 even, right?
I would probably put it around 5, maybe 4.
Here's the thing. I've had a debate online with plenty of people that say, I just can't get into this game. I don't like this game. I get it. This game is going to be divisive. It is not for everyone. There are people that got furious at it, like my brother, who was like, I can't figure out this first thing. I keep freezing to death and that. And it's like, dude, you gotta go collect herbs and make yourself a cold resistance potion. And the game doesn't really handhold you in any way. Like, coming from a game like Skyward Sword, where the first 20 hours are tutorial, basically, this game is like, here's like 5 minutes of a tutorial. You'll figure it out. Go to that mountain over there.
You don't have to create a heat resistance potion or a cold resistance potion.
You don't.
You could just have some things to eat and hopefully not die. Correct. Like I did.
Yeah. Or you could talk to the old man by his cabin, and if you get enough ingredients from him and cook him a like fish and berry stew, he will give you a coat that will stop you from taking cold damage. So
fish and meat, I think.
Yeah, fish and meat. Yeah. It's the key to this game is it is an open world sandbox that is also a Zelda game. And
explore and learn.
It's literally the game built for me. A Minecraft loving like guy who spent hours playing like vanilla WoW back in the day, just trying to unlock every piece of the map and find all of the hidden corners of the world. This game is just built for, if you're an explorer at heart, this is your game. Because the game gives you the map is the map you create as you explore the world. Like, you find shrines that become your fast travel points, and you can see a crazy, like, the game encourages you at the start to go up this tower and look out at the world and like, hey, there's something off in the distance there, and you can go on your map and mark it. And then it's like, like in Skyrim when they said, hey, see that mountain over there? You can go on top of it. Same thing with the Zelda game. But in such a bigger world even than I think Skyrim was. Like, even more so. Like, open. Like, because literally in Zelda you can climb anything if you got enough stamina. Like, you can game your way around everything in that game, which is so cool. Like, if you watch the speedruns... I
put almost all my points into stamina.
Yeah, like, if you watch the speedruns, like, how people are beating this game in, like, half hour, I think, is you go up to the top, you get these items, there's a rock, you stasis it, because you have these powers, which freezes time, hit it, like, 10 times with the hammer, so that when stasis reaches, it flies off towards the castle, and you grab the rock and hold it, and then it flies off, and you take it. Like, all the way almost to the castle. Like, it just lets you play with the world. Like, you could come across, like, a little group of bokoblins that have, like, a chest, and you want what's in the chest. And, except for when it's raining, of course, says Johnny in the chat here. Yes, that is another great thing about the game. And also kind of thing people don't like, because when it's raining, you can't climb very well. And if it starts thundering, if you have metal equipment, you will get killed. But... let's say the bokoblins are there. It starts raining, starts lightning. What do? throw your metal sword in the camp. One of the Bokoblins will run over, pick it up, and get struck by lightning. It's just, it's like an open world sandbox RPG, and I love it. Like, I don't know how to gush even more about this. I think I talked about it when it came out, but it's my game of the year for sure. Like, as soon as I played it in, like, April or wherever it came out, I was like, it's game of the year. Like, nothing else is going to beat this for me. Because I was like, this is a game built for me as a player. And I think fully realizes what Shigeru Miyamoto was looking for when he created the original Zelda series. Because, like, you remember, TJ, what he talked about when he created Zelda?
Yeah, that was what he was talking about. Basically, like, exploring around. Because I think he lived in a rural area where there were a couple of shrines, and he liked like exploring like the woods around it, going from place to place, and just finding things.
Yeah, and that reminds me.
And that's the experience he wanted.
Yes, and that reminds me of when I was a kid, because I lived out in a woods, and all of us neighborhood kids used to like meet up and run around in the forest and play hide and seek and play adventures and carry, one of the girls would carry around her doll, and we had like a little house on the prairie where we create like a house out in the woods, and I would go out and catch like, wildlife or, like fake, and like just like
and someone
explore.
would die of dysentery
or cut off my neighborhood friend's finger with an axe, but that was an accident. We talked about that in the podcast years ago.
I forgot about that story.
That story. Look back for that one. I was like 5, and I had a hatchet because I was the lumberjack. Anyway,
well, at least it wasn't a samurai sword.
No, unfortunately. Yeah. Johnny on the chat here says the world record's 39.25 for any percent with an amiibo. Yeah, you can beat the game quick if you want to, or you could spend hundreds of hours discovering every nook and cranny in the world, in which there are, because there's Korok seeds. So like you'll run into a forest and there'll be a circle of rocks with like a rock missing, and you're like, that's weird. And then you'll run to another section, and underneath the water there'll be like a rock trapped under a metal beam, and you move the metal beam, grab the rock, take it over, put it in the spot where you think it's going to be, and a little Korok guy will pop up and be like, hey, you solved the puzzle. You figured it out, and you get a little Korok seed that you can use to, expand your inventory. And it's just those little touches where it's a massive world that takes hours to run across. Yet every nook and cranny feels like there's something there to discover. And like I feel like I played that the whole game. I didn't finish it. I'm at the castle. I couldn't bring myself to finish it without finding everything, and I just, again, 2017, a billion games came out. 100%, 32 hours, he's saying, speed run. Imagine routing a 32-hour speed run of 100%. So it's a deep-ass game, and you get deep in that ass, if you know what I'm talking about.
Hey.
Zelda. Anyway.
Yo.
But there's not a lot of story, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a lot of people were like, the story's light. You have amnesia. It's that kind of trope. But to me, it was
that's
just
kind of a recurring thing in the Zelda franchise.
You know what I would love to see?
Go. Link's Awakening was an amnesia plot.
Link's Awakening was amnesia, yeah. Yes, it was. But it was a dream, actually, right, TJ? Turned out.
The whole island was a dream of the windfish, but you weren't necessarily dreaming.
Okay, got it.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, it's a weird
dream. Supposedly, it still happened. Yeah.
So that's a cool thing. But yeah, that game is just, I can't speak too much about how it made me feel like a kid playing a game, like getting out like a book and writing notes, like and discovering new things and not looking up solutions online because I wanted to like discover it all on my own. It's like you know, Johnny in the chat here says, I kind of did the same thing. Like I kind of wandered around and just climbed stuff, because you can climb anything, go anywhere, look for anything, just have fun. You're kind of given the keys to the kingdom right away, and of course you run down a hallway or run down a road, and a giant robot will blast you off your horse. And you're like, okay, I'm not going to go that way. Like, clearly I got to level up or get a little better gear before I go over there. But anyway, I've talked so much tonight.
And the combat is so good.
Yeah, that second monitor.
The combat is so good. It is
the dodging, the parrying, the flurry attacks, the different attacks with the different weapons. You got to learn. Oh, I now have a spear or this guy's arm, and
yeah. So one of the cool things about the combat in the game is just how many options you have for playing, and the fact that weapons are disposable. So you never can just stick to, and that was one thing that, like in Zelda, you'd be like, okay, I got the Master Sword, I'm never going to use another weapon again. Whereas in this game, you don't get the Master Sword till like the end, and even then, it breaks. But unlike your other weapons, it does not disappear when it is broken. You can repair it. But it's just kind of like you experience the different kinds of play styles because you're kind of forced to and improvise. It's a game that both requires improvisation when you're playing and rewards good improvisation. Because one of the cool things you can do in combat is, let's say, you're having a hard time fighting a group. What you can do is, shoot a fire arrow in the ground on the grass, or drop a fire. Do some fire set the grass on fire. Hop on your leaf to use the updraft from the fire, and then as you're falling, pull your bow, because when you're falling with your bow drawn, it goes into slow motion and you can shoot people. And like, it's just all this crazy stuff you can do in the combat. Or you can, like I said earlier, throw a metal weapon to a guy during a thunderstorm and they'll get hit by lightning. Or, you can roll a bomb down a hill that hits a fire that explodes and, kills all of the goblins or bokoblins around a fire. It's just open.
I know it took me, I think, I want to say 2 hours of having a boomerang.
Yeah.
Before I knew you're actually supposed to throw it, because I kept using it like a melee.
Yes, because
how do you throw this stupid thing?
And you throw it, and I believe with the boomerang you throw it, you have to hit a button to catch it when it comes back.
You have to catch it, otherwise it'll just land behind you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it is a simulation Zelda game, and that's why, TJ, I understand why. Like, if you are not into that kind of game, it's not going to tickle you the way it did me.
I enjoyed the 30 hours I played so far.
Yeah, totally. I'm just saying, I understand.
More, but
like, this game was built for me as a person, so I love it.
I want to play it more, but I'm just gonna get sidetracked, and it's good to get sidetracked.
It's like Skyrim for me. I just get sidetracked. I gotta try everything out. Can we talk about? I have the Wii U version. I think I might have to buy the Switch version because my Wii U isn't plugged in anymore. I got too many inputs on the
now.
HDMI on the TV. Sorry, what?
It's been replaced.
Dead?
It's dead to the world now.
I know. And every game that came out on the Switch is getting remastered, so including Bayonetta 1 and 2, which I got for the Switch.
Yep.
Or for
it's
that
like
Donkey
an
Kong
older
Tropical
sibling
Freeze
that your parents never really wanted. Right?
What do you mean, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze with baby mode for babies? Including funky mode
for cool people.
Funky mode. God, what a dumbass thing. But awesome.
In 2018, I really want to see a Donkey Kong game that is just him being a mob boss in New Donk City.
Oh, fuck yeah. I want to see that.
Yeah.
New Donk boss. Anyway.
LA Donk.
TJ, games? Or Matt, why don't Matt, you give a game that we didn't mention?
Well, this is kind of a technicality because it came out for my platform in 2016, but it was released in 2017. And this is a game that I think should have more spotlight than VR chat. This is Rec Room VR. This is a nice little sandbox. We can get together. You can play some wholesome games with your VR friends in the VR world and accomplish tasks and not be racist. Some people are probably racist. And just have some fun.
Yeah.
It's just it's a nice little sandbox that they keep adding to. Like through this whole year, they just keep adding to this thing, and it's a free game, so it's like I don't know where they're getting this sort of like crazy venture capital or whatever to keep developing this, but it's fantastic, and I hope that it continues on because this is the kind of thing.
I know,
me too.
I know, Matt. Before I played with you,
gross.
When I was just kind of like dicking around by myself in Rec Room, I spent like 40 minutes just in the open area, just shooting basketballs.
Yeah, right.
Not doing well, just until I made them.
You guys talking about Rec Room, huh?
We are talking about Rec Room.
I that is a game that made me want VR. Watching people like just interact in that world, like just random strangers. Just
I don't know how they do it, but it's so wholesome. Like,
yeah,
I don't know that I've ever ran into anyone that's just like a straight up dick in that game. They have a way of like.
That's you then.
Humanizing.
If everyone else around you isn't a dick, then it must be you.
They have just a way of humanizing everybody so that you feel compelled to like treat everyone with kindness and to cooperate and things. But yeah, man, I'm really interested to see where that game goes in 2018 because they started out as just sort of a weird indie project with no funding, and the more funding they get, the more cool shit they come up with without like compromising what makes the game cool. And the fact that they're maintaining that integrity is really awesome, and I think they're gonna do some cool shit in VR.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to VR in the future. Again, as I mentioned earlier, saving up for a home, looking to buy a home. So, and I'm getting married in May, so gotta get the finances are tight this year. It's God, this is an early 2019 tax refund. Looking at hopefully. So a year from now, hopefully I'll have a new house.
We might even be on Vive 2.0 by then.
I was going to say I may have my office, and I'll have my VR room space built out in that office, and that's the dream right there. This is the VR room. This is the holodeck of my house.
Yeah, this is my holodeck.
That's what
but
I want.
I recently finally finished reading Ready Player One, and throughout that whole book, whenever I imagined anything that was taking place inside the Oasis, it was always as like Rec Room avatars, like the weird floating torso with disembodied hands. Like that's how much of an impact it had on me.
Yeah, God. Oh man, did you like the book, Matt?
It was a lot of fun. It was definitely not
popular
like,
to make fun of right now.
It's not like a timeless classic, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I really think
to Lovecraft Country.
I have that on my Kindle. I have not read it yet.
I've
heard it's good.
I'm less than 20 pages in, and I'm super hooked. The characters are really engaging and awesome.
Can you explain what Lovecraft Country is?
It's a Lovecraft-esque story that takes place in Jim Crow South.
Yeah.
So far, I've met the main character, and he traveled up from I think Florida to Chicago.
Okay.
And he's a black dude in the early 50s. He's a huge sci-fi fan, and he comes from a family of like extremely well-read people. And it's the kind of thing where I want to write down like everyone's names because they're all named after like ancient deities and stuff. So I want to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, His name is Atticus, and he's got like an Uncle Horace and an aunt that's named after a Greek goddess, and that's like you can tell the author chose all of these things for specific reasons. I want to try and like keep track of that. But yeah, so far it's really good. I haven't gotten into the main like plot of it yet.
Yeah.
But so far I like the characters.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds great. I mean, the fact that Jordan Peele is going to be making it into a HBO series has got me excited, you know, after Get Out being, like, if I had a top 10 films of 2010, it'd probably be in the top, like, 5. So Get Out was incredible. And I love the idea of a Lovecraftian horror mystery being set in the Jim Crow South as told by the perspective of, you know, the African Americans living in that time. Like, it just sounds like a fascinating and interesting, like, just story. It sounds like super unique and cool, and I'm really looking forward to getting to read that. But like I said, I've got way too much shit to do. There's so much good video games happening right now. It's tough. TJ, did you have any games that we didn't mention on our list?
Yeah. I'll start following the VR vibe, and you go with a game that's technically 8 years old. It is on everything from toasters to bananas.
Okay.
Because
so not 2017,
not the Vive yet. But
well,
I'm
fair
hoping.
enough. We said in our list it's games we played in 2017. So if this was
game, but the VR version came out in 2017, and that's
Great.
what I'm playing.
Perfect.
Because it is a different version and a different experience.
Okay, what is it?
I'm playing Skyrim VR.
Oh my god! And you never played the original, right?
I never played the original. This is all new to me.
God, how? It's come out 100 times.
I haven't played the original.
I had 5 years
either.
without a 360.
Oh, fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you were behind on consoles.
Yeah. And it was in the middle of everything, where I borrowed Bioshock from someone, then my 360 stopped working, and then 5 years later I got 360 again. Yeah. But it's an experience, even if I'm playing it in super low resolution, because they want to make the frame rate better to survive.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because you got to keep that frame rate at 90 hertz.
That's really good.
Otherwise, you'll just puke
Use
all
Your
over
Words
the place.
also came out in 2017.
Yeah, that's a great game. A really great game.
I
to play
love
on
that
Switch.
game.
That's been a fun experience. I need to start playing that again.
Yeah,
with you guys.
We'll play that tonight after the podcast. We'll play 8 games of Use Your Words.
Yeah, we can.
TJ will stay up forever, and we'll see you then.
Maybe Saturday night, but not tonight.
All right,
so
maybe
tonight
I'll have to log back in Saturday night.
I gotta finish Persona 3.
You're on the final boss,
which is what I'm doing. I'm on the final boss. Yeah.
So, vomit index of Skyrim VR. Where are you at?
Well, I'll go back and just hit it again. With controller, standard controller.
Yep.
I'm at a full 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Vomit index, and that's even 10 minutes of play. It's that bad, that uncomfortable. With motion controllers and teleport move, I would say maybe a 1 or 2 out of 10, depending on what's going on around me.
That's good, though. They found a way to make it playable.
Yeah.
Yeah, teleport's
I wonder if,
usually a nice compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's something you get over with a controller if you just play enough. You get your VR legs, if you will.
I've definitely noticed a change, but I wasn't super susceptible to VR sickness in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I've definitely noticed that I can do lots of free move stuff without any of the sort of comfort settings, and I can fare a lot better than I used to. So it does change over time, but I don't think that there's a big switch.
For other games, I was a this is not something I recommend to everyone, but I really enjoyed the Danganronpa game. Don't play it without playing the others, and don't play it if you're not into games that are visual novel and really story focused.
Yeah.
But they are a lot of fun.
Okay.
They're messed up.
I need to play those. Those are on my list of I have to play them, but I have a billion
So many
other things to play. And it's like, I'm waiting for the Steam sale that has all 3 in like a pack for like $30. And I'm like, all right, let's get in one of these. And I got some time, so I bought Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I gotta play that.
Nice.
Why did I buy that?
I don't know why you bought that.
That's 100 hours.
I mean, it's great, but that is hundreds of hours. Yeah.
Well, I know. Like a Famicom Dojo. I forget. He played it like 180 hours he put in or something, and he was like, looking forward to starting up and play through number 2 or something. I was like, oh my god. You can just lose your life in that game.
Man, yeah.
I mean, from what I've played, I mean, it looks great, and the voice acting is really fun, and I love just a classic JRPG, and it feels like it, so I just don't got the time.
There's so many other games on this list of games that came out this year that I'm like, this is probably great. I have it, and I haven't started it. Or, one game doesn't count because it really didn't come out this year.
Yeah.
That's Parappa Remastered. But this is my first time playing through the whole first Parappa game.
Yeah. I heard the remaster's hard to play.
Yeah, it's based off the PSP version. And level 4 with the chicken is off timing with the actual music.
That's what I've heard. It's the timing
in order to actually play it properly.
I know people that loved that first Parappa game, and I played that too on the PS1. I loved it, but the timing of not using a CRT is just the delay lag, or it just doesn't match. Like, it doesn't feel like it used to.
The other songs are perfectly fine. It's just the one song that's really a problem.
Oh, the music in that game is so good.
Yes.
Oh, the fucking the frog song.
I would say
third one is
that of the 3 Parappa games, Parappa 1, the Jammer Lammy game, and Parappa 2, Jammer I think has the best music.
Okay, I've never played that. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, you play as a guitar playing lamb, and that's a PS1 game.
Yeah.
I still have it. Everybody's Golf was great this year.
Oh yeah, we played a bunch of it online. That's fun.
Yeah, we did. That was a lot of fun.
And it was $40, like not even full price. Like, hop in, play a little golf, relaxing. In the 2017 year, I need to relax.
Remember when we spent like basically an hour 20 just trying to get that hole-in-one on the par 3?
Yes. We're just like chatting, like, we can make a hole-in-one if you hit it right. And we just sat there like, oh, nope, run back. All right, tee up.
It was tornado. It was tornado hole too, so
I think I got it. I think I got it, but it doesn't count. I think we both got it, but it doesn't count as a hole-in-one for your
count.
achievement.
It doesn't count on your official stat.
Yeah, because it's a tornado hole, so it just sucks the ball in if it gets close enough. But
Johnny also mentioned another one that I played, but Golf Story was definitely worth it too on the Switch.
I need to get that. It's only $15.
Absolutely great.
Yeah. Yep. So I'll have to check that one out.
Sonic Mania was also a good launch this year.
I forgot about that. I loved that. Yep. Like, I loved Sonic 2. Like, I was a SNES guy growing up. But like, I had my cousin had that Genesis, and getting to play Sonic 2 and like staying up all night getting through that game. So many memories, and like seeing the way this looks and plays, the music, like, it is the way Sonic is meant to be. It's just good. But the best game that was Sonic this year was Sonic Forces, clearly. I mean, that...
It wasn't a horrible game, actually.
It looked pretty bad.
It does look bad.
The graphics are not great. I like the ideas in that game. Like, create your own Sonic OC and kind of do some, like, collect items and stuff. Like, it's kind of fun, but yeah. And it wasn't full price. I think it was $30 or $40.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I think $30 for digital.
Oh, I'm not.
There's a lot of stuff. I'm not even gonna go through the rest of this, but there's just so much stuff this year.
Blades of Steel is a hockey game. Can't beat that. I don't even watch
Blades
hockey.
of Steel. I don't know Blades of Steel. Yeah.
Because unfortunately Wisconsin doesn't have a hockey team, but
I'm
sure if they did,
that reminds
I would.
me.
But Blades of Steel, that's the
back
game
back in 2006 when I was still in Madison.
Okay.
I bought a copy of NHL 2002 for the PS2.
Oh yeah.
For $2.99 at a GameStop.
Okay.
And what I did was I started a season mode.
Okay.
And I created a full team of 6 players.
Uh-huh.
John, you were my
oh snap!
I want to say goalkeeper, but you were my goalie.
Okay, yeah.
You were my goalie. I was one of the defenders and whatnot, and I try to be realistic, but with everyone with an overall of 80 or higher, but with individual stats. And I just God. What's the first team alphabetically? Oh, it's the Anaheim Ducks. We're going to be the Ducks, and I'm like, it was so much fun.
Now that reminds me of when I
still have that save file somewhere.
When I was in middle school, NBA Live 98 for the N64, creating a franchise of all of my friends that were on my 6th grade basketball team, our championship basketball team. I've got the my parents have the trophy. And I will say that championship was because I was put on the A team with all of the other kids, because I'm a 6'5" now, and I back in 6th grade was taller than everyone else by a significant margin, making me and I looked up to Charles Barkley and Patrick Ewing. I was the rebound machine. But anyway, I just remember doing that in all my old sports games. It's like, here's all my friends, let's make them players, and let's have a franchise and go to the championship, and have the numbers match, and everything. God. But I will say 100%, the reason why we won that championship was not my playing. It was the fact that it was all the kids who ended up playing high school basketball years later. So I was on the good team with all the best players, but being tall helped the team. I think that's why they probably had me on the team. I could get those rebounds. Anyway, yes, the Mighty Ducks. Why did they change that? Disney.
There's at least 15 or 20 games I bought this year. Actually bought, not just got for free.
Yeah,
there's at least 15 or 20 games I bought this year that have not touched, have not played.
Oh my God, we got to talk about this.
So bad.
We got to talk about this before we end the podcast, because we're way over time.
We are.
I've got a Milkshake Duck of the week. I hear the ducks a-quacking.
We're not as much overtime as you'd think, but
no.
Go ahead.
But let's get cracking.
While you were talking, I started reading these links, and God, we have to talk about this.
Okay, so this is a perfect Milkshake Duck situation. From the ridiculously glowing BuzzFeed article about the initial discovery of this viral sensation of Robbie Tripp. Here, let me just screen share this site over here.
Yeah.
So we can get this. This is BuzzFeed. Look at the fucking colors of BuzzFeed. Lol, OMG, cute, trending. I'm sorry, I hate BuzzFeed, but except for the great journalism they do, which they legitimately do, but there's a lot of this kind of stuff on here.
And they fund it with straight up garbage. So.
Yes. He's a published author and frequent contributor to Entrepreneur Magazine and Huffington Post. TEDx Talk. That doesn't even count.
Oh, that's not a real TED Talk.
I could do a TEDx Talk.
Don't count.
Anyway, here's his wife.
And it doesn't
Sarah
count
Tripp.
if you're a published author and you're self-published. So
yeah, here's his wife and model Sarah Tripp. What a beautiful woman she is. She's a body-positive fashion blogger and owner of Sassy Red Lipstick. Look at her. What a beautiful lady. They're madly in love. Robbie never wastes an opportunity to shower his wife with adoration on social media. His IG caption skills are top-notch. Yep. Look at the lovely... But this post in particular below has been getting a lot of buzz for body positivity. I don't see the comments actually on this one. But anyway, the caption reads, "I love this woman and her curvy body. As a teenager, I was often teased by my friends for my attractions to girls on the thicker side. He likes the girls with thick with 2 C's."
T-H-I-C.
Anyway, ones who were shorter and curvier, girls that the average basic bro might refer to as chubby or even fat. Then, as I became a man and started to educate myself on issues such as feminism, so this is a man explaining feminism, and how the media marginalized women by portraying a very narrow and specific standard of beauty, I realized how many men have been bought into that lie. For me, there's nothing sexier than this woman right here. Thick thighs, big booty, and a cute little side roll, etc. This lady is just a normal-looking woman. So, her shape and size won't be featured on the cover of Cosmo, but it's the one featured in my life and in my heart. There's nothing sexier to me than a woman who's both curvy and confident. God damn it, he's just fucking jizzing all over his wife on Instagram here, publicly. I don't want to read this. Like, it's just going over it. And this is where you're BuzzFeed, you're crying. You're like, oh my God, he's such a real nice. How he's a nice man. She's slightly larger, and he loves her anyway.
She's like normal sized human.
He gets a medal, I guess. Like
her.
For this,
and he
loves his wife.
Oh,
BuzzFeed, we got a reaction gif. Oh, it's all good. Oh, yeah.
And everyone lived happily ever after.
Oh, what? Look at that adorable duck drinking a milkshake. Oh, it's so adorable. Oh! Time to be obviously embarrassed by some racist and transphobic tweets that the couple had put out. This is, again, we say this all the time on this segment. And Matt has already done this. Fucking delete your old tweets.
Delete your old tweets. You said
there
stupid
is no
shit.
reason
Delete all of it.
For your tweets to exist to be searched through by a media organization when you go viral, because I'm sure you said something dumb on your Twitter or your Instagram, and I'm never going to look at old tweets unless I'm trying to dig up dirt. So it's tweets like you get the last month is all I need. Like, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to release a new service online where you can sign up to automatically delete tweets that are more than a month old.
Yeah. So this is where the dunking began, of course. So it started off pretty normal. It's like, okay, this lady saying, even though she's chubby, I still love her. Is like, yeah, I don't know if that's the nicest thing to say. Like, you should just say, I don't care.
Hey,
what her weight is. Her weight's perfect because I love her.
I don't care, so I should get a medal.
And of course, there are memes. Of course, I love my cat for her curvy body, personally, but so did this guy. And of course, this is when the research began. And people were kind of responding to the backlash. It's like, I don't understand how you could, be mad at me being positive about how I love the way my wife looks. And it's like, fine, yeah. You mean, obviously, these guys are tripping up on the words, and his sentiment's in the right place. Let's dig back to 2015, because this was in August of 2017. Let's look at some tweets here. We got a couple, okay, my brother, this is Sarah Tripp in 2012, sorry. My brother walked into my apartment today for dinner, and I told him I made chicken and watermelon. He responded, "Are we black now? Hashtag love him."
Hashtag love him.
Hashtag love him. Yeah. Robbie Tripp, TM. 2014. A black guy wearing a do-rag is the equivalent of a white guy wearing socks with sandals. Hashtag don't. 1 like. He got 1 like for that.
Good job, Robbie Tripp.
Born a Bruce, always a Bruce. Clothes, makeup, surgery, and public acceptance won't change how you came into this world. 2015. I don't know, man.
Retweet, 3 likes.
He didn't even really get ratioed on this one, but I'm sure it did after the fact. So, yeah, okay. Like, you're body positive, but you're not
What's that
body positive.
What's that defense, though? Because obviously he was like, man, I used to have some opinions. I've learned from those. I've become a better person. I do not think that way anymore. Mm-hmm. And instead...
Look at this fucking shit, too.
No, I think it was... This couple... we only had 100 followers back then, so we didn't think about what we tweeted.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and that's not even necessarily true in this case, because this couple clearly, like, looking at it, anytime you have Instagram photos, like this one I have on the screen right now, where it was clearly staged, the lighting has been fixed, and someone's taking a photo, this isn't just, oh, we have a fun account. It's, no, I'm paying to make this an Instagram account. Yeah. I'm trying to become an Instagram famous person. Like, and so this is it. And here's what he says. A lot of you already know. I like to think of myself as a young, white Kanye West. So I guess it was only natural
without
that I wifed up a
talent.
Fancy fashionista. Yeah, you know, people like to rag on Kanye, and he is an idiot. But he is also a musical genius. And it comes through. And not to mention... Not saying I like his fashion, but he definitely has very successful clothing lines.
No.
But
I'm not a big fan of him or his music, but I recognize that there's
Matt, the music is so good.
Genius
I can't even...
It's so good, but I it's just not my style.
I've listened to Dark Twisted Fantasy probably like 50 or 60 times through... Life of Pablo 20, 30 times. The music is so good. He's
one of those people that I'm just like, how can you have so much goddamn talent? Fuck you.
Like, just listening to his stuff is like, it's like Brian Wilson from like the Beach Boys. It's just like, he has these crazy ideas of like, let's have a fucking African choir and this fucking organ and this, and it all just comes together to this music like masterpiece. Anyway, clearly, more than just an Instagram model he is. I think sometimes people forget that the Kardashians literally went to a plastic surgeon at one point and said something like, make me hot. Wait a minute. I thought his Cosmopolitan would never feature a girl like him. A girl like her. Well, wait a minute. Here she is on Cosmo. So it's kind of like, social media fake here. And that's kind of I think the extent to which those tweets went. I heard something fall downstairs and a cat race away, so I probably should check that eventually. But does anyone else have anything to say before we finish the episode here? Because I gotta run.
I'm just going to reiterate what
game of 2018 is Hatsune Miku VR.
Yep.
So
all right, I am John_Danger at Twitter. I have to check this because I'm worried. That was loud. It sounded like something fell off a counter. So you guys just end the episode for me.
We'll fill it up for you.
I'm just going to reiterate what Matt said in the chat, which is fuck everything. Let's burn it down.
Fuck it. We've squandered this wondrous gift of the internet, and we can't be trusted in this world anymore. So let's just let the AIs take over, because us monkey people, we can't do it anymore.
Matt, I don't think we have to be focused on John's screen right now, but where can we find you on the internet?
Hey, you can find me at matthigmusic.com, where I will be releasing a new song every month this year until I get bored and quit.
Which
TJ,
month should we expect that to start?
Okay, just a kitchen stool.
Well, I'm gonna submit it to my to the publisher on the 21st probably, and it just a matter of time. How long it takes them to approve it. So that usually takes a couple of weeks.
You can find us on Thursdays or Friday nights.
Derp.
Around 9 o'clock, I'd say.
Yeah. I think easiest place do it as well. I would say follow at 80s podcast, but at 80s podcast forgets to retweet these.
How about from now on, I promise to update at 80s podcast on Twitter.
You gotta promise.
Okay.
Pinky swear. Pinky.
But either way, if you follow any one of the three of us on Twitter with the links that I'm trying to point at on the screen.
Yeah.
And you can find us at r/born in the 80s on Reddit, where we have a very active subreddit.
I'm actually doing stuff. We're getting there.
Yeah,
but anyway, you can find me online at Twitter at mayofmay84, and then sometimes streaming if I actually promise to do so. Maybe even tomorrow night we'll be doing some Use Your Words. And that's twitter.tv/mayofmay.
Yeah.
At Butts on Twitter.
Fuck you, I do what I want.
At Butts
Is that
on
an actual
Twitter, baby?
hashtag? Oh,
Hashtag at
probably.
Butts.
That's gotta be a real person.
Easiest way to find us is to follow the Twitter account, because we have Facebook, we got all these communities that we have.
Yeah, and you can
or you can join the Discord.
At discord.com/butts.
Discord link is at our website, bornofthe80s.net. Or if you want to do the really, really lazy way to do it, you just go to my Twitter page, my Twitch page, and it's in my description.
You'll find him.
That's,
we record live every episode's recorded live on Twitch, so if you stick around, you'll find one live, or you can listen to the podcast that comes out every week.
Yep.
Or just
about a week after
we
record.
/butts.
Yeah, discord.com/butts. I'll get you there with a Z. But
thanks
for
on
listening.
iTunes or at any or on your favorite podcast app. Please rate, review, and subscribe.
Patreon.com.
Patreon.com/butts.
We do have a Patreon. I think we're at $16 or $18 a month now. We're getting up there.
We're somewhere up there.
Oh man,
I looked at our
rich.
Patreon account, and it is a not insignificant money we have. So
because you still haven't used it yet.
I've never cashed out because I have to fill out tax forms to cash out. I'm afraid
you were spending out of pocket.
Disneyland.
I'm spending vastly more out of pocket than we make on
Disneyland.
We're gonna.
But thank you for listening, and we gotta end.
Bye, everybody.
All right, we're live. We're on the YouTubes.
Anyway, yeah, a little ranty bit. So, I hate that ad campaigns work.
Yeah.
A little bit of a backstory to it is the left Twix, right Twix commercials.
Sure.
I think it was a really, really well done ad campaign. But now, they sell Twix in packs that will say all left Twix and all right Twix.
Yeah.
And just because of that, I chose it as my impulse snack. And specifically, I chose the one that was for right Twix because I had to pick the right side.
That's funny. I just saw those in the grocery store one day, and I was so confused because I don't have over-the-air TV, so I don't see a lot of those commercials. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. I used to see the Twix commercials a lot on YouTube. I think they pulled a lot of their ads recently, but I don't see ads on YouTube anymore because, well, for me, it's YouTube Red.
Yeah, I got that too.
Oh, yeah.
Let me check.
The way my targeting shit is on YouTube, I usually get advertisements for music production software.
Alright, here's where I am at normal level. Matt, can you please talk?
Hey, this is your boy Matt. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, look at this suicide victim.
And this is me right now, although we'll probably have to
yeah, we'll just readjust when you get to your home mic. Alright, one sec. Let me listen.
I'm double checking my release dates. Fuck. Some of my shit. I don't know. Maybe I can. What if my Vive shit like was released in 2016, but re-released for PlayStation VR in 2017?
Okay, I think we sound good. I got this guy right here. Some snowshoe.
Nice. I have Edmund Fitzgerald Porter.
That's a good one.
It's we'll sing some Gordon Lightfoot. When I went to the liquor store today, there was a dude giving out samples, and I had the most decadent Imperial Stout. It was like an Imperial hazelnut stout, and it tasted like liquid dessert. It was the kind of thing where I was like, if I bought this, I would drink half a bottle and like go into a sugar coma.
We got pre-approved for a home loan. You know what my favorite part about that was? Is that I got a note today from the loan person guy. He was like, don't make any big purchases. Well, getting married, so
that's not a big purchase.
Purchases coming up.
I get pre-approved for a lot of credit cards that I didn't ask for.
No, I got a letter saying I can buy a house now, so I can make an offer.
Just has to be like 100 yards away from the nearest elementary school.
No, it's 200. Come on.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm ready to start. Do you guys have stuff you want to add into the doke?
Labo.
Oh, thank you, TJ. I'll put that underneath you.
Cardboard.
Oh yeah, that shit looks cool.
I know. When I saw that, I was like, Matt's gonna want to switch now even more. You make a piano.
But I'm gonna have to get like a Vive Pro, so I'm just
Man,
it's gonna.
That's true. You don't even need
into debt.
a Switch because you can just make a virtual keyboard in Vive.
Yeah, but there's no tactile feedback. We'll get to that in the episode.
Well, obviously, it's cardboard. Oh, in the Vive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could probably figure that out.
Yeah, they can do like gloves that can let you feel virtual stuff. The problem is just that they're way too expensive, and they're pretty brittle technology. So like if they break, you fuck. Because it's like a bunch of different servos that will push against your different finger joints and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm digging about VR right now. Is that it's not like, I think people are expecting it to blow up right away, but it kind of didn't. But it's also kind of like, but there's still a lot of crazy, awesome development going on, and it's just slowly getting cooler and cooler. So
it's kind of like where PCs were at in the 80s.
Yeah. Like, because there's some like VR chat, as stupid and horrible as it is also like kind of what is so cool about it is that you can just have this crazy like immersion and like that is different, you know, like even if it's stupid and there's all these knuckles running around clicking at you, it's, I don't know, like you're able to feel surrounded by the racists in a way that you can't in other games.
There was a whole room that stopped being rowdy because of a user was having a seizure.
Oh yeah, there's some really cool stuff. There was a really neat thing where or not a really neat thing, but I feel like the like people were like, I think the hot takes on the Uganda Knuckles thing was like insane because, dude, that's meme of the week. That's gonna be gone in like a week. Like people are gonna be doing other weird shit in there. That was just.
It's just like for me, it was kind of just frustrating because like it's not funny because of the racism.
It's funny because of how
it's funny because it's
is.
absurd. Like you could have done that without making Ebola jokes and shit. Like
yeah. I think like that. Like one of my favorite things of that is the Russian Knuckles that just
I love that one.
Crazy Russian phrases, and it's like it's not because, so you know what I mean. It's because
It's because it's a little red, badly drawn Knuckles saying it.
It's like a little gnome running around annoying people. Like, it's a literal troll.
It would have been the same thing with a character characterized people just being ridiculous as Napoleon.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was less. Yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah, like the first time I saw it, I didn't even realize they were doing like a fake African accent. And like when they were in the room, just like there were a ton of them clicking, doing like the tongue clicks. I didn't even make the connection that would be like making fun of that kind of language. I thought they were just making noises and driving people insane, which was hilarious.
Uganda Knuckles actually is based off of a movie, a Ugandan action movie called Who Killed Captain Alex? And people are kind of memeing on the accents and lines from that movie, I guess. So
I think that you do not know the way is from that.
Yes, exactly. So it's I don't know. I think like Polygon got a little bit quick on the hot take. I like totally write an article about how it's kind of problematic because it totally is. You know, like there's clearly racists are gonna flock to this thing, but I don't think it was built from the beginning that way. Just that, what can you do? There's Nazis everywhere. They're just gonna flock to it no matter what it is. So, all right. Anyway, what is when do you guys want to start?
Oh, whenever.
I saw you start.
You start now. I'm 10 minutes from home.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's gonna pop up from Twitch about my mobile live dashboard because we're live at Twitch now, and I guess I can
I want to pop out the chat.
Are we gonna talk about Tide Pods at all? And now, as much as I put stuff in my mouth, it won't be Tide Pods.
Yeah.
That's another one of those things where I was just like, this is a thing? Like,
yeah.
Is this just people on Twitter reacting to something that's not really real? Or are people actually doing this?
I don't know how widespread it is, but it's happening enough where it's horrible.
Don't do that.
I will jokingly put stuff in my mouth and lick things that I know in the long term won't do anything to me.
Yeah,
but
this is like bleach and shit.
I'm not dumb enough to put some sort of chemical concoction in my mouth like that. Says the person who thinks that Switch cartridges don't taste that bad.
I was listening to a podcast where one of the hosts was talking about how he got this anti-chew spray for his cat to like spray in cords and shit. And so he tested it, and it was exactly the same taste as the Switch cartridges. It's like the same chemical.
Okay. Well, we can get started though.
Okay.
All right.